Kiss 92.5 studios in Toronto, Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This is Roz and Mocha.
It's Roz and Mocha. What's going on?
Hey guys, this is Bruno Mars.
This is Selena Gomez.
The Chainsmokers.
Lady Gaga.
Calvin Harris.
Celestia Cara.
This is Ed Sheeran.
You're listening to my boys Roz and Mocha.
Roz and Mocha.
My boys Roz and Mocha.
The Roz and Mocha Show.
Between Roz and Mocha, who is your favorite?
Mocha. I just Mocha. You guys are so funny, man.
Congratulations, Lisa! Wow!
You just won $1,000.
It's amazing. Y'all just made my entire morning. Keep it up.
You guys are awesome, man. This is the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So I got to play you this sound. They capture the sound of what a black hole sounds like. And they had to pitch it up because the actual sound is over 50 octaves lower than the bottom note on a piano. So here's what a black hole sounds like. That's pitched up.
That's scary.
250 million light years away. 250 million light years away. Damn it, Maury. How long does it take to get to 250 million light years away? First of all, how long does it take to travel?
First of all, I thought that was your stomach.
How long does it take to travel 1 light year?
1 light year?
1 light year.
And I'm just guessing, is it taking the night times away from a day and adding that up? And how many?
So figure it out.
365 days in a year.
Right.
If you take away the nights, then it's 200 and something days to get there.
200 and something days to get there. To get where?
To travel what?
To travel 1 light year.
To travel 1 light year. Okay, so say that you're in a space shuttle, right? And that space shuttle travels 5 miles per second. Given that the speed of light travels 186,000 miles per second, how long would it take in human years or in human time to travel 1 light year?
Oh, well, when you put it that way.
Take your time. Think about it.
No, I know, but he said like it's faster.
Yes.
So by an immediate guess.
Yes.
No, this is math. It's got to be exact.
No, I know, but we have limited time here.
You can. We'll give you time. We'll give you time.
Oh.
How long does it take? How long in human time would it take to travel 1 light year?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay. It would take 37,000 human years to travel 1 light year.
Okay, but based on what you said, something 5 seconds, something.
So in order, more, if you wanted to get to the black hole, okay, it would take you 9,250,000,000,000 years to get there.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
In human years. Now, let's say
I can find one much quicker.
Okay, let's say you wanted to drive to the moon. Okay? Before the black hole, you got to get to the moon, Maury. Okay?
Of course you do.
So let's say you wanted to drive to the moon. There was a road directly from where you are right now straight to the moon. How long would it take you to get there?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Say you're doing 100 kilometers an hour. How long is it going to take you to drive to the moon?
Oh, okay. 100 grams. I carry one.
Which one?
Which one? How long is it going to take you to drive to the moon?
4 hours.
4 hours. Just over 3 months is how long it would take. Okay, now.
Is that stopping?
What's that?
Is that with stopping?
Is that
What do you think without stopping?
Okay. Yeah. How are you going to stop? Okay, Maury, let's say, okay, Maury, what is the distance around the world?
Oh. Okay.
The distance around the world.
Like flight time?
No, just the actual distance. Like if you took a tape measure, let's say kilometers. If you took a tape measure.
I thought you were going to say centimeters.
No, why would I say centimeters?
Because you said tape measure.
Okay, if you took a tape measure, right, and ran it all the way around the world,
Yes.
how many kilometers is it all the way around the world?
Okay, well, it's like to Niagara Falls is something like 100 kilometers.
Right.
So
let me make it easier for you, okay?
Please.
If you were able to build a road all the way around the world, right, just one straight road all the way around the world, okay, and there was no traffic, if you did 100 kilometers an hour, how long would it take you to drive all the way around the world?
Okay, here to Niagara is an hour.
Okay.
So I would say...
And then you have to make a left, right?
And then 3 rights.
No. We're just talking as don't confuse the man, Mocha. Jesus.
But I was correcting him.
Okay, go.
You're not making any rights or any lefts, okay? How long would it take to drive around the world more?
So just straight.
Straight.
Or in my world, gaily forward.
Gaily forward.
Okay.
How long would it take to drive around the world?
7 days.
7 days. Shem, what are you saying? How long would it take to drive around the world?
You can't.
No, if there was a road.
If there was a road.
If there was a road. If we built a road, straight shot, all the way, one loop.
One whole loop?
One whole loop all the way around the world.
Andrew, I said 7 days.
You said 7 days.
Yes.
I'm going to go 24 hours.
24 hours.
No way.
Mocha, you would say what? How long does it take you to drive around the world?
Like 6 months.
6 months.
Is that with stopping?
So the world is a total, if you did that, if you built a road, it's 40,000 kilometers, which if you were doing 100 kilometers an hour would take 415 hours for a grand total of 17 and a half
Wait
days.
minute. But I can get to, but I can fly from here to Israel in 12 hours.
Yeah, on a plane.
How?
Over an ocean.
I know, but you said we're not worrying about oceans. It's just a straight road.
Yeah.
So a sky or ground, it should be
But
similar?
you're not. But a plane flies at a much faster speed than a car could drive.
Okay, taking speed out of it.
The
You
plane would
can't-
fall. You'd be dead.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, you ever shared a toothbrush with your partner?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Not even deodorant or anything.
Really, huh?
No.
No, Catherine and I have shared a toothbrush many times.
We won't even share floss.
No? Well, I mean, I don't think anybody should be
Strip,
sharing
like-
floss. That's next. I mean, I'll share a lot of stuff. Like Catherine and I for years wore the same deodorant, like the same stick of deodorant when we
Will you
ran
share a
out, one
straw?
of us. Of course.
Yeah,
Oh, we won't do that. Or not even a fork.
No?
What?
No.
You won't share a fork?
No, if I'm having watermelon, Matthew will go get, that looks good, and he'll go get himself a fork.
Okay, wait a second. Y'all sitting around eating watermelon with forks?
What else do you eat watermelon with?
Wow.
You don't like hold it?
No,
in
like
your hand?
no, if it's pre-cut cubes, I buy pre-cut cubes.
You know how expensive that is at the grocery store?
$4.59.
Oh my god, that's not even for a full watermelon.
How much is a whole watermelon? How much is a whole
Like
watermelon?
$2.
No, like a full watermelon. You can
Yeah.
get one for like $4.
Okay,
$4.
and then that little tiny package of cubed watermelon?
It's $4.59.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Maury.
and you don't even get. That's like not even a quarter. That's like a third of a watermelon.
No. So
If
here's
that.
Sarah Silverman on The View talking about how she and her boyfriend shared a toothbrush.
Not only are you sharing your bed, you're sharing your toothbrush.
Ew. Really? That's disgusting.
Yeah, thank you, Joy.
I told you I was befuddled by that.
I have never shared a toothbrush with another person in my life, and for some reason with Rory, we have never not used the same toothbrush. Now, everyone's saying that's so gross. Let me ask you something. Why is that so gross? We kiss each other where we...
Oh, damn.
Not everyone does that either. Yeah, but you're going in there in the gums and everything. It's disgusting.
Joy's so judgy.
I mean, yeah, you're going in there with the gum.
This is gross.
Look, do what you want to do in your house. Okay? It's your house. It's your man. It's your body. That's right.
No, I still couldn't.
You couldn't, huh?
There's
You couldn't,
no
like,
way.
if you, like, what if it's an emergency? Like, what if you guys are at a hotel, you forgot your toothbrush, and Jenna's like, just use mine? Or she wouldn't never say that.
She wouldn't.
No.
Call downstairs.
What if your gums
No,
are
like, what if
legal
you're
that day?
away? Like, what if you're away?
Use my finger.
Use your finger.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Never done that?
No.
Put a little toothpaste on your finger and then
And
just...
the times that Catherine and I have shared a toothbrush, I'll tell you, you know what I don't mind, actually? I don't mind
being
already.
second?
No, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind putting a toothbrush in my mouth that's already a little wet.
Oh, guys are so gross.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. It's kind of nice.
No.
Well, hold on. What if
Kinda
it
nice.
still
You know what
has
it's like?
toothpaste on it?
You know, sometimes in the summer, right, when you put a bathing suit on that you swam in earlier, and it's not wet, but it's like a little wet where it's cool. Like as soon
Sure.
as you put it on, you get that coolness.
Yeah.
hits parts of your body.
That's
to
different,
me,
though.
that's what
That's
it's
your
like
own bathing suit, though.
using. I know, but to me, that's what it's like using a toothbrush that Catherine had just used. There's a coolness to it when it hits your mouth. It's kind of nice.
No, that's
I
That's your
enjoy that.
boy. That's your boy.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I got to tell you, man.
Yeah.
I got to thank you, Roz.
Why would I do?
Your wiener technique.
Oh yeah. Come on now. Come on. Talk to me.
Yo.
Talk to me.
Best
Talk to me. Talk to me.
ever.
So we're talking hot dogs, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then
So your technique is not to boil hot dogs, not Maury's technique of microwaving them.
Yes.
It's just steam the hot dogs and then you steam the buns.
Yes.
Right?
So I take a parboiling pot, like the steamer, like your vegetable steamer. So I put water in a pot and then I put the steamer on top of it. Then I throw the wieners right in the steamer so they're not touching water. They're just getting steamed. And I put the lid on it. And then you steam those bad boys up. And then I take a couple buns and I just wrap a paper towel around them kind of thing. And I literally open the top and I drop that paper towel with the buns in it right on top of the wieners and then close it up again for like 30 seconds. And when you take it out, you put the wiener in those buns and they are like, it's like when you eat a Krispy Kreme donut.
It really
like
is.
everything just dissolves in your mouth.
So I did that the other day.
Okay, how was it?
The best.
The best?
I'll never go back.
No.
Ever.
No.
Never go back to boiling hot dogs again.
No.
Even putting them on the grill.
No.
Like the absolute best way to have a hot dog is to steam them.
Yeah.
And steam the buns.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you how I do mine just in case nobody knows? You put it in the microwave and you heat it until
give us an option to say no. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You heat it until it starts to blister.
Yeah.
How long does that usually take?
Like, do you wait for it to blister on one end or both ends?
No, you take it out as soon as the top blisters.
Okay. And now, do you like? Because sometimes when it blisters on one end, it also splits down the middle.
No, it does. But then you hide the blisters under ketchup.
Okay. Now, my problem with that technique, right, is that sometimes the blistered ends, like really, really quickly, like almost instantaneously, when you take it out, it starts to get hard.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's not good. What do you do at that point?
No, you just eat the hard crust.
Oh, you eat the hard part first. Ugh. Okay.
So how long is a hot dog in the microwave for?
About 90 seconds.
90 seconds? What do you have, a microwave from 1986?
For that much to happen
You can
in
cook
90
a
seconds?
steak in 90 seconds.
Two blisters and a split?
Okay.
That's so gross.
So you leave it in for 90 seconds, and 90 seconds is what you get.
That's so gross,
And then,
dude. No way.
2 blisters and a split.
So does Matthew like hot dogs that way as well?
Absolutely.
Does he even eat them?
Absolutely. When you eat something long enough, it just gets comfortable.
I'm okay. First, wait a second. I'm in pain. Okay. I'm shocked that Matthew eats hot dogs. He seems like a health nut.
Oh, no. Once in a while, we treat ourselves.
Once in a while, we. What about you, man?
That's pretty much the motto for the marriage, huh? Once in a while, we treat ourselves.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So, because of poor harvest, supply chain issues, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, food production shortages around the world, cooking oils are actually being impacted the hardest right now, and the prices have been skyrocketing for the past 6 months. So while prices have impacted grocery stores, the greatest increase is going to hit you when you go to a restaurant. Likely to see prices in cooking oils triple by the end of the year when it comes to vegetable oil.
I heard that some fast food chains are switching to a different kind of oil.
They have to, and nobody wants canola oil, right? Vegetable oil is, but the problem with vegetable oil is, so first off, Ukraine is the largest exporter of sunflower oil in the world, okay?
Yeah.
Vegetable oil is literally in everything. Like if you look at ingredients for things like pasta, cookies, chocolates, mayo, all your baked goods, everything else, all vegetable oil. Right, so vegetable oil is literally in everything. So yes, now, Maury, people are going to have to try and find.
Like, why not avocado
new
oil? I
oils.
see that everywhere. Use avocado oil.
Well, it's very expensive, and two, it tastes awful.
Oh,
and,
we don't.
And
I don't
you
mind
need,
it.
and you need like the problem with vegetable, like the difference between like cooking with vegetable oil and cooking with like avocado
Actually,
oil.
We have avocado oil, but we cook. No, we don't cook with it. We use vegetable oil.
Is you're not supposed to cook like olive oil at those insane high temperatures, right? Like the smoke point for vegetable oil is much different than the smoke point for something like avocado oil or vegetable or olive oil. So so prices are going to go absolutely bananas
Prices
for cooking oils
on everything.
I got massive fried chicken plans this summer.
Not anymore.
I know.
Not anymore.
I know. I'm going to go back to lard. I'm going to go old school. Okay. I'm going old school.
Just hearing the word.
Come on
so
now.
Gross.
And it comes in a solid, and you got to melt it down. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm going old school lard this summer.
You just spoon off a chunk?
No, put the whole square right in the pan.
No, you don't.
Yep.
That's too much.
It's not too much.
That's too
Can
much.
You, if you
Well-
don't use it all, can you turn it back into a solid?
First of all, if somebody's just tuning in right now and they have no idea what we're talking about, the question was, if you don't use it all, can you turn it back into a solid?
I mean, yeah, give me like 30 minutes at least.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Remind me again, Roz, you gave up on This Is Us
I know.
seasons ago, right?
Yeah. I watched the first season.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it, and there was a mystery to it, which is, how did the dad die, everything else. To me, it was a one and done season. And then I started watching season 2, and I just found I loved Randall, and I loved Randall's family, his wife. I liked that storyline. But the 2 other kids, I found them insufferable, and I did not care about their storylines.
This season is one of the best. This season might be better than the first.
Really? Because I know, David Moore, you
I
and
stuck with
Shem are still watching the show, right?
Shem's not?
I'm caught up now.
Are you caught up now?
Oh, sure am.
How have you not talked about this?
Because listen, I got a life, bro.
Wow.
Good night, everybody.
Wow.
Wow.
So this is the last season in the series, and they're coming up on the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So Mandy Moore is out there promoting it, talking to Jimmy Fallon, and talking about reading the script for the last episode. Listen to this.
For the next 2 episodes are coming up, obviously no spoilers, but on the emotional scale, 1 being not that emotional, 10 being This Is Us.
Yeah. Jack dying. Milo's character dying.
Yes.
I would say, I will tell you that the penultimate episode, which airs in like a week,
Yes.
I threw up after I read it.
Oh.
And maybe that's just because it's really close to the bone for me. Like, this has been my life for the last 6 years, and it's like I simultaneously have to say goodbye to the character, to my family and friends on set, and this character's also coincidentally saying goodbye as well. So there was a lot wrapped up in it, but I still think that, like, you might need a day off from work.
Really?
Yes.
It's one of those gems?
But the finale is a bit more of a hug. I think there's a little bit more levity. Yeah, the second to last it destroyed me. I have a feeling it might destroy people. Yes.
And there's parts of the next 2 episodes that were filmed 3 years ago.
Yes. And I didn't even remember. So the finale, the very last episode of the show, just because of the way we tell the story and jump around in time, and obviously, like, children keep growing and getting older. We wanted to capture a very particular time in their lives. And so some of the finale was filmed 3 years ago. And I didn't even remember.
Damn. Wow. So do we know what? So the mom dies. We know that. Mandy Moore said that, right? I think that everybody's expecting that, right?
Well, the one that just aired ended with them calling each other saying, you better get here fast, because they're saying that we don't have much time
So
left.
is it like it was with Jack with the dad? Like, is it a mystery what's killing the mom?
No. She has
know?
Alzheimer's. Like, we know that. That's not a spoiler.
Based on what Mandy Moore told Fallon, right, in this clip that we just played, for you, Dammit Moore and Shem, who are still watching the show, does this make her reaction to reading the script for the last episode, does it make sense in the timeline of things that are happening on the show?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Does it get, and I know they said no spoilers, but can you kind of predict what's going to happen without saying anything?
100%. And I can also confirm that Maury and I will not be here the day after.
Oh, wow.
Like,
so she
I'm
was
starting
saying,
to cry now just remembering the episode that aired on Tuesday, because, like, the way that they build this show, where the mom helps the kids when they're getting dressed in the morning, and then how now when she's waking up and she doesn't know where anybody is, and they have to help her put her shoes on, and I'm thinking, I don't want to help my dad put his shoes on. You have to put on your own shoes.
I'll help you put your shoes on when you get older.
I'm telling you, Alzheimer's sucks.
yeah, it's not good. So is that what happens when you watch a show more? You think of your own dad?
Every time.
Are you still going to make the man put on his own shoes on, huh? You won't even help him out.
Put on your own shoes.
Poor Frank.
Good thing he's got 2 others. You know what I mean?
Just put on your shoes.
All right? Those brothers of yours are going to step right up more.
Because
be over in the corner crying.
And they're going to help wear Franklin's shoes.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, golly, if you don't help the man put his shoes on, who's going to help him across the road? Like, you got to be there, buddy.
Yeah, this is us, huh?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hello?
Yo, it's Roz and Mocha.
Yo, what's up, Mocha?
How are you, buddy?
Man, I'm having a rough day with this guy.
Okay,
Why are you walking away, dude?
Hold on.
Because I'm on the phone with you.
Hold on.
I've been texting you guys. Now he's irritated that you called.
Oh, really? Okay, hold on. What's your name, first of all?
Sean.
Sean texted us, Roz.
Yeah.
And said, guys, my colleague just said he doesn't think Roz and Mocha have a good relationship. He's having a horrible day with me. So, Sean, what the hell is your coworker's beef with us?
I don't know. You can ask him. He's here with me right now. What's the problem, man?
I have no beef with you. I listen to you guys every morning. You guys are amazing.
We listen to them together.
No, we don't. Separately.
Yes, we do. We sit in the vehicle together and we listen to them.
Listen.
I'm your Mocha.
Wow. Roz,
Yeah.
to the point, serious dude. Love the guy.
Okay.
But you treat me like I'm Maury.
You do act like him.
Okay, but I need to know
Guys.
what's going on. What's your boy's problem, though? Like, he doesn't think that Roz and I have a good relationship, like we don't get along?
No, you guys do have an amazing relationship, but he doesn't talk as much as you do.
Who? Roz doesn't talk as much as me?
Too much now? I talk too much like Mocha?
Oh my God. Okay, you guys. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of internalizing here, like or reflecting or whatever the hell, mirroring. You guys. Okay, so you guys are coworkers and you sit in, I don't know, some vehicle, I guess, and you listen to the show together. And do you sort of see yourselves in your relationship as like a sort of Roz and Mocha kind of thing? Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely.
Okay, so and are you clear on which one's the Roz and which one's the Mocha?
I'm definitely the Mocha. He's the Roz. We even have our own Shem.
Okay.
Yeah, well, watch those words, man.
No, man, he would agree. He'd be like, yeah, I'm totally Shem.
Okay. So you guys, you are the Roz and you are the Mocha, and you got yourself a Shem. So with your relationship, then, what makes it sort of like a Roz and Mocha relationship?
I'm the funny one.
Oh. He thinks he is, but he's not.
Everyone comes to me. Everyone comes to me and they're like, "Yeah, Sean, you're our favorite." And then they look at Maury or they look at Tipu, my buddy here, and they'll be like, "Yeah, you know, they love him, but they have to give a reason." Like when you guys ask the question.
Okay. So
I love how you just called him Maury as well.
I know.
Like, it's so natural.
Okay, I know. Okay. So you guys have a fantastic work relationship, and
No, far from.
Whoa.
far
Wait,
from.
wait,
Okay.
favorite person, man.
Let Roz speak.
No, it's fine. I would rather listen to both of you. I got okay. So now that you're on with us, do you guys have any questions at all? Like how we make this relationship work? Maybe we can help you guys out with your relationship.
Yeah, how do you listen to him speak so much?
How do I listen to him speak so much? Jeez.
Listen to Mocha speak.
You, man, you, bro.
Me?
I want to hear how he tolerates him.
How do you tolerate each other? What's the deal?
Okay.
I think we just give each other room to speak. It's a common respect for one another.
I think first off, I wouldn't exactly describe our sort of way of communication as tolerating each other. I quite like being in this room with Mocha.
I like being in the vehicle with you.
We have to lie to your faces.
Why are you lying?
We have to lie to your faces.
Okay, you jabronis. You jabronis.
Yo, Sean, it's Sean and Deepu, right?
Yeah.
All right, yo, thank you guys for texting. Thank you for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show. I don't even need to ask the question of who's your favorite is because we've already established that in this conversation. And thank you for joining us today.
All right, bye.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a good day. Get along, damn it.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I saw the weirdest thing while walking my dog yesterday. A culinary, what I think might have been a mistake as far as what it was named.
Okay, hold on here.
I've been dying to tell both of you guys
stop.
this.
Just stop for one second. First of all,
thank you.
That is a hell of a way to start the show, more. What was say all those words again?
Okay, so I saw a culinary thing that I thought was I don't remember what I said.
Okay, what do you think you're saying right now? No, honestly, because I want to help you out with this. Okay,
I saw what I think might have been a culinary name disaster.
A culinary name disaster. Okay.
Yo, this food truck named something, and I'm like, I stopped, and I'm like, you can't name it that.
Okay, where's the dog? You mentioned a dog.
Oh yeah, in my hand. Like the leash was in my hand.
A hot dog?
Oh,
no,
okay.
candy.
I thought.
Yes.
Okay, Maury, you said dog and culinary disaster, and I was like, hold on now. Okay?
I thought you'd like pass like some hot dog like street vendor.
No, I was walking the
no.
dog.
I thought he passed somewhere that he felt served dog.
No.
Maury, I swear, bro, you and words like just do not mix.
Well, somehow I got this far.
Okay. So,
which is how far?
This far?
Not far.
Exactly.
Not far.
Okay, so
I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah, true.
so what happened then?
Okay, so I was walking Andy, and
we established that.
okay,
already.
and there's this truck that sells beaver tails. Okay, which I know, Mocha, you love beaver tails.
Love.
But they have created, I guess it's poutine with beaver tails in it, which. Okay, let's first describe this. So you got
what is a beaver tail? Explain a beaver tail to me.
It's
I
like
never had one.
it's pastry that's flattened to look like a beaver's tail, and it's covered in like cinnamon and sugar and like somehow
what kind of pastry?
You could get various, just regular dough, like hot, not hot dog, like donut.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
gotcha. Okay,
it's like
cool.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Very, very
And then
sweet.
you can put various toppings on it. Some of them have like Nutella with banana. Some of them have like. Okay, never mind. I will not continue because you'll give that answer for everything. Go ahead, David Maury.
Okay, so they've created a poutine. So you order your poutine, which of course is your fries, gravy, and cheese curds. But then they rip up the beaver tail and put it into the poutine. So you have like sweet, like cinnamon and cheese and gravy.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But they
I
call
would
it.
never do it.
They call it poo tail.
Ew!
And I saw
so
the
gross.
sign, and I'm like, you can't call that poo tail.
My dog had that last week. When his tail slid in it. Had to clean him up with baby wipes afterwards. Yeah.
Okay.
So not only is the dish sound gross, the name is like awful.
That may be one of the worst names for anything that anybody has ever called something that they expect anyone to pay for and then eat. Poo-tail.
That's disgusting.
Was it P-O-U? Like
P-O-U.
P-O-U-T?
Yeah, but still, the way you say it, it's still poo.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't say putel.
That's even more disgusting.
The Roz and Mocha Show
Podcast.
I had COVID last week.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
What?
How's that a spoiler alert?
It happened already. Yeah.
How'd you feel?
I'll tell you, the weird thing about COVID was that I just hadn't been sick in forever because I haven't had a cold in years. I haven't had the flu. I haven't had anything like that. And so I forgot what it was like to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me like real hard, but it hit me hard in the sense that I just felt different, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really know but I didn't know what to do because I'm like, normally you're just go about your life when you have a cold.
What was different though? Like, what did you feel inside?
No, I wasn't used to I wasn't used to having a sore throat and runny nose and being all stuffed up and my body hurting and stuff like this.
Didn't they say, I guess, the flu or the cold, people weren't getting it because people weren't socializing?
Yeah.
So it disappeared.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, once you get over the worry of like it's COVID, then I'm like, okay, yeah, sure it's COVID, but I'm like, but I just have a cold. And I'm like, but what would I normally do if I had a cold? Like I would just do stuff. I just wasn't allowed to do stuff. So I had to occupy my own time. Like I drove immediately. As soon as I got tested, I drove up to the cottage and then I was just there alone. And then Catherine brought me up one of the cats when I was like 3-4 days.
Really?
And yeah, so she dropped off one of the cats for me.
Did she leave it outside because she can't come in?
No, yeah, he was in a carrier, so she just like dropped it off.
Which one? Because you got 4.
Fig. Yeah.
Fig is the middle one?
He's the second one we brought in.
Is that
from
your favorite
outside.
one?
No, he's not my favorite. He's right up there though, and he knows it too.
Oh,
Yeah, he's right up there.
Special treatment.
Yeah, so
Hey, so like, are you invincible now? Because once you get COVID, like nothing can stop you.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but it was it sucked in the sense that I felt sick, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody likes feeling sick, but like I never once felt like it was anything more than that, like anything more than a cold.
Question.
Right? Yeah.
Could you still eat and taste the same like delicious foods that you would typically make on the daily?
My appetite was not affected at all.
At all.
Neither was
Okay.
my taste, thank
Okay.
God. Neither was my taste. Yeah, so I
But
ate.
could you muster up the strength to like make stuff?
Yeah, but I would do everything in like streaks, right? Like I would go outside and do a little bit of yard work just to get some vitamin D and like get in the sunshine. And then I'd come back in, I'd pass out on the couch for an hour.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up and I'd go back out and do a little bit more. And then I'd come in and make some dinner. And as soon as I had dinner, I'd pass out. And then I'd wake up an hour
Uber Eats
later.
by your cottage, do you? You can't order anything.
No, I don't. I'm in
but
the
you
middle of
wouldn't-
nowhere.
you wouldn't want
But
to
I wouldn't
anyway.
want to. I don't want some guy coming to the house.
Well, you could
right?
leave it outside by the cat carrier.
Yeah, no, true that. No. So COVID was it was an experience. Like the thing that sort of sucked the most was just isolation, right? Like that was the hardest part was just being alone. Like I don't like being alone. I hate being alone.
You love being alone.
No. I
No,
like
he likes being alone, like with his family.
Maury, you're missing. If you don't know the difference now, then maybe you don't know me. Maybe we don't have the relationship that we think you do. I don't like being alone. I like being left alone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge difference.
The outcome's the same.
No. I don't like being alone. I like being left alone.
Oh, so there could be a room of people, but just don't bother me.
Just leave me alone.
Ah.
Okay?
Like right now, Dan Moore, leave him alone. Okay.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Yo, shout out to Mattea Roach once again.
Yeah.
23 win streak. That's incredible, man.
Where does that rank, More? I know that you're
fifth
huge.
place.
Fifth place of all. And money. How did she do?
Oh, Money like 7th, but
Yeah.
she's also the longest running successful Canadian on the show.
Jeez.
And big fan of this show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. She's so smart. She's so young, so smart. I hate her,
know.
but I love her. You know what I mean?
I
She
know.
could be listening.
I know.
It
Listen.
was something like the equivalent of like $720,000 Canadian.
How you amass that kind of like this is when Rox was young, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't so much about like our focus and parents' focus should be this too. And I'm not saying that this is how Mattea was raised, but there's a difference between somebody teaching you something and then somebody teaching you how to learn. And how to learn is such an important tool to give to kids when they're young. And I need to know how she was raised because she amassed such an incredible amount of knowledge at such a young age to even just to be able to compete on a show like that. And this isn't just a hobby. Like she has something that we don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big time.
She has an extra gear for retaining information. And then
She's got
also
something in her brain.
yeah, and then also gameplay because the buzzer technique is so important on Jeopardy. Like it's reflexes, like it's all of this stuff to be able to do what she did on Jeopardy.
Yeah, and probably like in a way to kind of see ahead, like to assume what the next question may be or the line of questioning. But I guess there's no way to do that, right?
No.
You just got to be smart.
Yeah, that's it. You just got to know.
So again, U.S. it was like $560,000.
Woof.
Right?
Good for her.
Canadian, $720,000.
Yeah.
So she gets the money. And Mattea Roach talked to Dan Moore. And of course, I mean, this is a great question. I think this is a great question from Dan Moore.
Okay, I know that you won all that money, but when you go as far as you did, do you get any other Jeopardy parting gifts like a Jeopardy hoodie or a Jeopardy pen?
So actually, everybody gets to leave with at least one Jeopardy pen. I think I somehow ended up with like 3 because I had to go back for multiple tape days. I somehow got away with more of them. But yeah, all contestants that go on the show, at least while I was there, everybody got like a Jeopardy branded tote bag and then also like a baseball cap that has the Jeopardy Jeopardy logo on the front, and then it says "Get a Clue" on the back. I've yet to be brave enough to wear that out in public because I feel like it's the most conspicuous thing I could possibly wear. But yeah, everybody gets a little something to take home.
I'll tell you something. A Jeopardy hat to me would be almost cooler than $200,000.
The hat is pretty cool. Like I think that's I was very excited to get that at the end of my run.
Hold on a second. If they presented you with all that money versus a hat, you'd still pick the hat every time?
The hat's cool. No one else has the hat.
Dammit Maury talking to Mattea Roach, Jeopardy champ.
Okay, so a question I'm sure many people watching have always wanted to ask. What do you do during one of the games if you have to go pee?
You pee before. You would never make that mistake. I'm telling you, I swear, like the bathrooms at the Jeopardy set are like some of the best used bathrooms in the city of Los Angeles, because I think that so many people, when they're nervous, they just end up having to use the washroom a lot, and people are drinking their little, miniature sized water bottles. So yeah, I don't think I ever once had to use the washroom during a game, because I literally always, like, one of the last things I would do before playing was like, okay, I got to go to the washroom again.
Wait, are they really the nicest bathrooms you've ever seen? That's fascinating to me.
They were reasonably nice. I wouldn't say that they were like the fanciest. It's not like when you go to a really nice hotel and the bathrooms are super deluxe. I think they're the most used, and they are consequently kept, like, they were in good condition. They were absolutely in good condition.
That does not sound appealing. The most used bathroom in Los Angeles. Right?
Like, congrats, like all the nerds, like the smartest nerds in the world who use these bathrooms.
Would you ever go near anything? And you could substitute the word bathroom for anything. Yeah. Would you ever go near the most used blank in Los Angeles? Never. Nothing.
Never.
Nothing. I don't care what it is. Not touching it.
I don't think... It doesn't even have to be L.A. It could be anywhere in the world.
Especially L.A., though. Especially L.A.
So there was a story. I can't remember if you're the one that brought this up, Roz, or if this was an article that was going around, because we know Mattea Roach, Jeopardy champ, also a tutor, right?
Yeah.
That she was going to, after
start making more money tutoring.
After her big win, after she left
yes.
Jeopardy, she was going to start charging more
Yeah.
for tutoring. So Dammit Maury brought that up with her.
You've said that you're going to continue being a tutor, which is awesome. Now that you're a Jeopardy champion, are you planning on charging more for lessons?
No, I work for a company with a set rate, so I don't think I'm allowed to charge more. No, I feel like I'm pretty happy with the amount of money that I make as a tutor, to be totally honest. And then it's something that I, would more kind of continue doing on the side if I go back to school or find a full-time job. It's just always, I'm not going to go jacking up prices. It's already too expensive for people to get LSAT tutoring as it is. The last thing I need to do is make it just like less affordable for people.
Oh, Mattea Roach keeping it real.
So listen, I'm not happy with the money you're making tutoring, okay? You may be happy, but I'm not.
She could probably use that money to start up her own company and then charge what she wants. But that is Dammit Maury talking to Jeopardy champ Mattea Roach.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I walked into a spider web this morning.
Same.
Really?
Sorry, I shouldn't have been so excited. I did. Yeah.
It is the worst.
Ugh.
And now, ever since that happened, like all day, I've just had this feeling, just like
it's on you.
The heebie-jeebies.
It's on you.
Right? I just feel disgusting.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a spider or spiders that are on me. Like every little thing now.
Yeah.
I just like,
and
I
you feel
flinch.
it. So you can still feel the web on your neck.
It was on my neck. It was on my neck on my left arm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just feel so gross.
I know.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
Where was it? Where did it stretch across from?
The door.
The door.
Yeah. I opened the door and I walked through.
That's like an April Fool's Day prank that a 5-year-old pulls.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. And I felt it like from the right side of my ear, right?
Yeah.
Go down across.
Under your beard too, huh?
Yeah, across my neck to the left, and then like across my left arm, and then down to my wrist.
Oh.
Because I guess
was
like,
he on there? Do you know? Like, is it still on you?
that I have no idea.
You don't know if the spider's still on you?
Well, I would know because
would you though?
Yeah.
I
Because
don't
you would
think
feel
you
it.
would. No.
Anyway, I just
They
been
sit-
feeling.
they can- those spiders sit in that web for days just waiting for something to land.
I just feel itchy, like
Right?
all the time.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
like the entire time.
Do you think
Oh,
that? Do you think
so
that there's?
gross.
Do you think that there was a moment when that spider was sitting there at the end of the web and saw you about to get caught in it that he was like, "Oh man, score," and then realized that you were just too big.
Big time.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna be so bloated after this,
guys.
Yeah,
guys, I told you.
Tonight we feast.
I told you this is where we should have done it. Yeah, no.
Oh, where'd you get your spider web?
From the hedge to the truck. So it went from like the hedge on the side of the house to the rear view on the driver's side, and I walked right through it, and it like got me like right across the like the mouth and up into the mouth. Yeah,
so gross.
Yeah.
Don't you feel itchy like in your beard?
Yeah, and I don't know what to do at that point. So I'm just picking. But see, I have like long hair. You don't have long hair, right?
Yeah.
So every now and then, like I'll find like just one of my own hairs stuck in my beard.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'll go to pull that out. So that's what it feels like right now. Like I'm just sort of like running my fingers through my beard, looking for the remainder of the spider web.
Oh, so
but yeah, no,
gross.
it's so gross. And then I never know if it's on me or not. Right? Like, I just never know. And then you're driving, and I'm like, is there a spider on me right now?
Yeah.
Like, as I get on the highway, I'm like, where is he?
Like,
is he making a move, or is he chilling?
For a split second.
Yeah.
Before I left.
Yeah.
To get in the car.
Yeah.
I was standing in the garage, and I contemplated stripping down in the garage.
Yeah.
And like giving my whole body just like a wipe down with my hands just to
Right.
make sure.
See, you can't do that because there is no way. Like, if Jenna then heard a sound in the garage, came downstairs, opened the garage door, and saw you there is no way that you telling her that you're cleaning a spider off you is going to
know.
suffice as a reason. She will never look at you the same. If she wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and finds you nude in the garage rubbing yourself, right? She will think that this is something you do every single day, like some weirdo ritual, okay, that you do every day before you go to work.
Oh, that's so gross. Anyway, I just feel itchy all day now.
I know.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast. Roz and Mocha's Hell of a Story.
Mike, what's going on? It's Roz and Mocha. Welcome to Roz and Mocha's Hell of a Story. Excited to talk to you today. I mean, I don't know what your story is, so don't disappoint.
Yeah.
Mike, where and when does your hell of a story take place?
It takes place at my work. This was like a week ago now.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So what do you do for a living? Where are you? Set the stage for us.
I work for the railway. I work out of Toronto. We inspect freight cars, and we were inspecting our track and doing our usual inspection of trains when they come in.
When you say freight cars, you mean like those big, giant cube things that get hauled behind the engine, right? Box cars. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're going along, me and the guy I work with, we're inspecting, but we're coming up to a car, but we're hearing banging coming from our car, but it's nothing out of the ordinary because there's a lot of other guys working tracks around, doing repairs, throwing hammers, things like that, right? But so we keep inspecting, we get closer, and the banging's getting louder, and we're thinking to each other that, there's nobody working the track next to us, and it just sounded like it was relatively close.
What did the banging sound like?
Like hammers like hitting the side of something.
Okay.
Metal on metal.
Yeah, we're keep inspecting, and then as we're getting closer, we're hearing like a voice, like as if somebody is actually working next to us. And I was like, well, no one worked the track next to us, so that's weird. So we keep going, and then we get up to this box car, and there's banging coming from it, but we're only ones here. And then all of a sudden, we hear a voice, and it's someone yelling for help. It's a guy's voice inside the boxcar.
Inside the boxcar?
And he's yelling for help.
How hard is it to get inside a boxcar?
You get closed from the outside. If you were to get stuck in it, there's no way out of it.
Okay,
so what are you thinking at this point?
We're both kind of just standing there, like looking at each other, like, are we seriously hearing this right now? So then we're like, hello, and there's someone inside. He's like, can you help me? Like, I'm stuck in here. There was also like kind of smoke coming from the inside of it too that was coming out from behind the door.
Okay.
So then we call our supervisors, and so they rush out there. In the meantime, we go and we open the door, and sure enough, there's a guy inside, and there's smoke that comes out like crazy as soon as the door opens because it's sealed for the most part. And and he's like freaking out, and you ask him where he is, and
Wait a second. So you guys found a boxcar hobo?
I don't know if he was a hobo, but
What was the smoke that was coming out of there? Was there a fire inside?
So we asked him afterwards, and it turned out that he set his T-shirt on fire as it's like a smoke signal to try and get someone's attention.
Oh my God! But if there's no way out of there, and if something like even worse were to happen, if that's fire spread, that guy's stuck in there.
Yeah, and that car is sealed. And if we didn't happen to hear him in time, he would have passed from smoke inhalation, and no one ever would have known he was there.
So where's the guy from?
So after we got him out and we were talking to him, and we're like, where'd you come from? It turns out that he's from Indiana. So then when we looked up the information on the train, it turns out that the train left there 4 days ago. This guy was inside there for 4 days.
So there was a guy stuck in this train, in this boxcar for 4 days from Indiana heading to Toronto.
4 days, no food, no water, no where to go bathroom.
Did he say to you guys, did you find out how he eventually made it into that train?
He said that he got drunk one night and he looked for a place to crash and he hopped in the boxcar and he took a nap.
Oh no.
Okay, well, hold on. I've been very drunk in my life. I've never walked by a train gone, oh God, you know what? I could use a nap right now. Was he missing? Did people realize that this guy was gone?
I would imagine somebody had to have been looking for him. You can't just go missing for 4 days and nobody noticed, right?
So at this point, what happens to the guy? Do you even know?
So they took him to the main building and they met up with the police there and they told him, where he's from and all that. And when they came back, they were like, yeah, so he's from Indiana and yada, yada, yada. And they're going to end up taking him to the border after they get him cleaned up and that. And then he's going to
At least he gets to see the falls before he goes.
Wait, so then does he have to then pay his own way to get back to Indiana once they drop him off at the border? It's like, here you go, United States, is your problem now?
Well, yeah, I don't know if he's got to pay or if they just drop him off at the border and they're like, here you go.
Man,
walk home.
Mike, typically in those boxcars, right? If this guy traveled from Indiana all the way to Toronto, what is usually transported in those trains?
Things from car parts to paper to food to everything.
Okay, so was he in that?
What was in his?
Yeah, was he in that boxcar by himself? There was nothing else in there? It was completely empty, or what was in there?
I think it was just rolls of paper.
Wow. At least you could draw. You know what I mean?
You can write a journal. I think today is day number 2. Damn, Mike, that is one hell of a story. Thank you very much for sharing with us.
No problem, guys.
All right, you take care, brother.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Go, Leafs, go! Game 6, baby! Back on the phones with us right now, Leafs superfan Don Patsku, Frank Fury out of Tampa Bay, big-time Lightning fan. Welcome back, fellas!
Let's go, Lightning!
Oh, here we go. Frank Fury. Frank, we will start with you down in Tampa.
This is Game 6, man. This is a 7-game series.
Okay.
It's Game 6, we win 2 in a row. We win tonight in Tampa. We go back to your joint, and we eliminate you in the first round like you're used to.
Don, how are you feeling going into tonight?
I feel fantastic. That Game 5, Leafs, different team completely from years gone by. My son was at that game, the atmosphere, everything. This team is going on, Tampa's going down, and then they can watch the Rays the rest of the summer.
Oh, damn. Frank, how do you feel after Game 5? Because, early on in the game, it was all about the Lightning, and then, Leafs fired back, came back, and ended up taking the game.
It was a classic hockey game, especially for the playoffs. It's a great comeback, but, hats off to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Down 2-0 real quick after the goalie giving up, 5-6 goals the games before, being pulled, coming back. Jack Campbell did his thing. He stood up, and then, you had your hero, an American in Toronto.
Shut up, man.
So who's your hero then? Who's your hero?
Your boy. From
What?
Ontario.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Don, your prediction going into tonight.
Well, there comes a time. Tampa's played a lot of hockey the last few years, and I think the Leafs are going to prevail, and I think it's going to be a tight game, no question. I mean, this Tampa team has got a lot of pride, but the Leafs are going to take it, and we're going to move on to the second round.
Frank, your prediction for tonight?
I'm going to be there tonight. I'm going to be the loudest guy in the building. I see the Lightning winning, and we go to a Game 7, man.
Roz, what do you think? Like, we've been talking to Don and Frank throughout this entire series, right?
Yeah.
And it's literally been back and forth, up and down the entire game,
It
right?
has, yeah.
What do you think is going to happen tonight?
Yeah, 4-1 Leafs.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm calling Leafs 6-3.
Really?
Yeah,
huh?
I think the Leafs are going to show up to destroy tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a point, and Frank, you have to acknowledge this too. Listen, don't get me wrong. Stamkos, Kucher, everybody else, Hedman, they're all great. But there's moments in these games, man, and they're brief moments, but when they happen, it's very noticeable, and that is every now and then you look at the teams on the ice and you catch a glimpse, and you're like, wow, Tampa looks old.
Not that they're old. They've played a lot of games in the past 2 years. We're back-to-back champs. Vasilevsky himself has 30 more games under his belt than everybody else in the playoffs right now. They're going to wake up tonight, and you're going to be shocked. And then we're going to come into your building, and we're going to eliminate you. And you could all go to sleep crying to a Justin Bieber love song.
Oh wow, Don. If this does go to a Game 7, Frank's like, we're going to come in your building and destroy. What do you say to that?
Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance. Frank, get ready to play ball with the Rays. You're going to enjoy your summer down there with the other 500 fans. You guys get there every game. So you know what? The truth of the matter is Toronto is going to prevail. I predict tonight. But let's just say hypothetically they don't. Then Game 7, Leafs are going to win it in front of another great crowd, the best fans in the whole wide world.
I mean, I don't understand the whole nostalgia of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They won it when there were 6 teams in the league. We're doing this with 32. That's all I can tell you. We're back-to-back champions. I got a lot more to stand on right now than you guys do. You guys watch your old videos on 8mm. I get to see mine on DVD. We're a 28-year-old team with 3 Stanley Cups. You guys are 162,000 years old and you haven't won since 67. Get out of here.
Okay,
enjoy the baseball season, Frank, and then get ready for Mr. Brady coming back for his 400th season in the NFL.
Wow.
Listen, I love the Tampa. Listen, this is Champa Bay. I love it out here.
You guys are
it's a nice place to visit, Frank, but that's as far as it goes.
Cannot wait. Game 6 tonight, Leafs, Lightning, 7:30. Don Patscoop, big-time Leafs fan. Frank Fury, Lightning fan. Thank you very much for joining us once again. And Frank, sorry you got to be here for this, but go Leafs, go!
What a disaster. Love both of you guys. Thank you.
Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast. Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
What advice can you guys give me?
Okay, so my question is...
Got a problem you can't fix?
Roz and Mocha got you.
Hello, Preeti. What's going on? It's Roz and Mocha.
Good, how are you guys?
Doing great. What's on your mind today? Why are you reaching out?
Why am I reaching out? My workplace is a show, man.
Damn.
Okay. So, because we had to bleep you, so you said your workplace is a crap show, right?
Exactly.
Okay, you wrote this. Roz and Mocha fixed my life. They let go of my supervisor that we all got along with and replaced her with someone who is completely useless. We're on her job and 3 other people's jobs with no raise, and I feel I am part of the Nazi regime. Do I say or do I stay or do I look elsewhere? So it sounds like you don't want to be there anymore.
No, I every day I used to wake up every morning. Trust me, I used to wake up every morning, loved going to work because the supervisor was there, the other supervisor, the manager that we had was awesome, and I'm like, ever since they let them go, it's like everything is going downhill.
Is it this new manager then that kind of rejigged the way people work and started putting other people's work onto you? Like, is that how the dynamic ended up happening?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, okay, this is not part of my job. There's no pay raise. Like, where's my pay raise?
Doesn't work like that, though. right? Like you work for the company. Nobody has, unless you have a contract that specifically says the things that you are paid to do and not to do. Like some sort of union thing, like that's when you start getting into those types of rules where somebody's like, that's not my responsibility, because the agreement is that is not your responsibility. But if you don't have that, you work for a company and they can sort of shuffle you around, and people come and they go, and you didn't lose your job. And I'm not saying that you should stick around and be thankful and work in a job that makes you miserable, but I will say that you don't have to love your job. I think that a lot of people sort of fall into that trap of where do the thing you love. That is very few people in this world. Most people just want to go to work and, get a sense of accomplishment, maybe have a good time, feel pride in what you do, be dependable, and, sort of move up in the world, both, at the place you work, but also in your own life. But I don't think you should be miserable when you go to work. I don't think that somebody should stick around at a job that actually makes them miserable. I don't think you have to love it. You have to be good at it. You don't have to love it, but I don't think it should make you miserable. And I guess the question is, are you in a position of your life right now where you could bail?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
You are.
I'm ready to bail.
Okay, so do you have something lined up already? Like,
I'm looking. That's what I'm trying. That's my question. Should I stick there, or suck it up, or should I just look elsewhere? That's what I'm trying. That's the predicament. Like everyone in my circle is saying, just find something else that makes you more happy.
Well, you don't look for jobs that make you happy. You're going to wind up in the same position, because once happiness becomes the goal, you're going to go work for a company, and guess what? That supervisor is going to lose their job. And then all of a sudden you're looking at companies being like, you know what you need to do? Provide my happiness. And that is just the wrong way to look at work.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're never going to find that, and then you're never going to be satisfied. You want to feel whole, and you want to feel that you are dependable, and that you have purpose, and that you can do a good job, and that you get rewarded, and that you're treated fairly. Those are the motivations. Don't look for a company that's going to make you happy. All that stuff is going to come from outside of work, and all that stuff should come from outside of work. The main source of happiness in your life should not be your bloody job.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I would come home and dump all my frustration on my husband.
Oh,
and
yeah,
on top of that, I would.
Don't do that.
I don't want to do that. No, I would never do that. This is not me. I was so happy going to work. Now that I'm dreaming about work, I don't want to be dreaming about work in my dreams. I'd rather be dreaming about something else.
Start looking.
I
Start
think,
looking.
I don't know if you would agree with this, Roz, but Preeti, I think that you should find another gig, right? Find another job. Have that lined up before you leave this one, because you don't want to have too much of a gap in between jobs. Just for financial purposes, right? Just financially, not for happiness or resume or anything like that. You still want to be making money. If you're making money, you have a job right now, keep making that money until you can find something else to jump to.
Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. Just stick it out until I find something.
But don't make happiness the goal when it comes to work, okay? Please.
No,
you're going to be miserable.
I
You will be miserable your whole life.
Exactly. I mean, to be honest with you, I would be happy if they brought the old manager back.
Well, that's not going to happen.
That ain't happening.
It's not going to happen. Yeah. You're going to be okay.
You have your answers, Preeti. Thank you so much for reaching out.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You have a good day. Take care. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life
on Kiss.
Oh, boy.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. When does that come out? Is it the 27th?
Dude, it's a week today.
And isn't that the same weekend that Stranger Things comes out too?
No. Stranger Things does not come out until...
What else comes out that weekend? There's something else that weekend. The weekend of the 27th is a big weekend.
I thought
two big things drop.
Top Gun. That's in theaters.
Yeah, hold on here. What else?
I thought Stranger
Things is the 27th.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
no!
Yeah, it's Top Gun, Stranger Things, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Bruh, come on now.
Yo, my streaming is going to be nuts.
Yeah, thank you. But Ewan McGregor is doing a lot of press for it and talking about those first three films, the prequels, and how when they...
He hated them, I bet.
And how when they came out, they were panned. But it's interesting because I've found that over the years, I've now started to meet people who were very young when those movies were released, and now they're adults. And I've met, in the last couple of years, a lot of people where those three movies are their favorite movies.
What? No way.
Yeah. And listen to Ewan McGregor, because he puts it into such great perspective of how long it took before he realized that those movies actually had fans.
Those films were critically not liked very much, or they weren't written very nicely about, by the critics. But what we didn't hear at the time was people your age, your generation. We now meet those people now who really love our films, Yeah. But it's taken us 15 years to hear that, and it's so nice. It's really nice. It's changed my outlook on my relationship with Star Wars. It's different because of that, I think. Because we put our heart and soul into them, and they were difficult to make because they were all the second one, the third one. There was so much green screen and blue screen because George was pushing into this new realm that he had designed. That he was responsible for ILM, and he wanted to max out that technology, but that meant for us that we were very much on blue screens and green screens, and it was hard work. And to do that and be passionate about it, and then for the films not to be very well received was really tough. So it's really lovely to have this new relationship with them now. And I'm glad that, and watching them again, I hadn't seen them since they came out, in preparation for this show, to watch them again was really cool. I like them, I like them. Our episode 3 is really good. It's a really good movie.
Like the only one out of all 3 that I would say I sort of enjoyed is Sith, the third one.
But if you were 10 then, those were your Star Wars movies.
I know.
They were your Star Wars because my kid still hasn't seen the first 3.
Really?
No, she hasn't. No, she hasn't. But I will say this because I was like, no, you're going to start Star Wars the right way. We're going to do and I showed her A New Hope. Right? Because I was so excited for her to finally see Star Wars, right? And I showed my kid when she was probably about 6. I showed her A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie, the one that I saw when I was a kid, the one that made me a lifelong Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I've never seen a kid more bored with a movie than I did when she watched New Hope. And then I watched it with her, and I almost watched it with new eyes again when I watched The New Hope, because New Hope is a boring movie.
Yeah.
There's no action in A New Hope.
Lightsaber fighting.
There's nothing.
Right.
It's so boring.
Until close to the end.
It's such a boring movie. And I know that if I went back and showed her, if she was 6, 7, 8, 9, those prequels, they would have been her favorite movies.
See, my only problem with the prequels is that it was just it's like the biggest spoiler, and it gives you sympathy, I guess, for Darth Vader, who is supposed to be film's greatest villain of all time.
I don't want to see him as a little kid.
Right?
Yes.
You
I
don't
agree.
want to see him as a cute little kid who's trying to figure out life, and then
who people call Annie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, nobody wants to see that. But anyway, so it's taken this long for Ewan McGregor to finally start meeting fans of the prequels.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, I got to play you this clip where Harriet Winslow talks about that one time Urkel wanted to kick her ass.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on.
So
Say the whole thing again?
Yeah, exactly. So Jo Marie Payton, who played Harriet Winslow on Family Matters, okay?
Yeah.
She was telling a story about this one time, and Urkel, Jaleel White was young when he was doing that show and then I know he grew up a little bit, and then it became awkward that he was kind of like a man still wearing the Urkel
But how
suit.
young? Like in
was,
his
real
teens,
weird.
right?
Yeah, he was
it was like in his teens. So I guess stuff went down on set. And he was, because he'll be the first to tell you that he went through some real pains when he was Urkel, because playing that character, he thought he was a baller. Like Jaleel White thought he was a baller, but every day he had to go and do the "Did I do that?" Right, and it started to drive him nuts again.
Is that
so? I guess he was flexing or whatever it was, but he wanted to kick Harriet Winslow's ass, and so this is Jo Marie Payton telling that story. Listen.
He needs to get over whatever it is that's biting him. He didn't have the etiquette that maybe I and some others had, but there was one time he actually wanted to physically fight me. And we were doing an episode called Gangsta Dog. There was something that he wanted to do. I said, we can't do that. Standing in practice is not going to let that pass. He was so mad. He started kicking and screaming and stuff. I walked off. And then I heard him say something. And I said, Darius, what did he say? He said, she must want a melee. I said, what's a melee? A fight. I turned around. I said, you want to fight? Darius grabbed me. I was going to go in there and whip his behind. I was going to whip his behind.
Wow, Darius, that's the kid. That's the guy that played Eddie, right?
Winslow.
Eddie Winslow.
Yeah, man.
Could you imagine though?
Melee.
Urkel?
I don't know. There's something about this though. What teenager, Urkel, right? Who says she wants a melee? Like, and to quote somebody on saying she wants a melee.
Yeah, maybe he was just like saying it like in an ironic way.
Nobody
right?
says melee. No teenager says melee.
It's a weird word to use if you're quoting somebody.
Right, that's what I said. Like, and she was like, "What did he say?" And he's like, "Oh, she wants a melee." You know,
You want a melee with me? Like something
Right?
like that. On
Yes.
set.
Now, and obviously, and the best part of this whole thing is that obviously this happened on set and they were filming, and so he was Urkel. Like, he wasn't Julia White at the time,
he was
right?
still in full Urkel
like,
gear.
He was still in full Urkel gear.
Now, you think he said it in Urkel voice or Jaleel voice?
I don't know.
Like, Harry, you want a melee with me?
She wants a melee. Yeah. Or I don't even remember how Urkel talked. I never watched that show, and I know I get killed all the time for this. No,
It was high and nasally.
Love it.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
No.
Did
he
I
say,
do that?
Oh, look at
I
Sean.
know. Did I do that? But did
Yeah.
he say, "Do you want some cheese"?
No, he was a fan of cheese.
Yeah, he'd always go out, got any cheese? Or he'd be like the lovely Laura Winslow. That was Laura's daughter. Yeah. Harriet's daughter. It's my show, bro.
You remember
this
when he
had
turned,
impact,
when he
huh,
made
Shem?
that? You remember
Yo.
when he made that machine that turned him into Stefan?
Stefan or
and he
Kel.
was like super suave. And then Laura fell in love with him.
Yeah.
And then as soon as
Right
he
now-
turned back to Urkel, she was done.
Melee.
I'm the guy at the party right now laughing at a joke I don't get just to fit in.
Did I do it?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So explain to me why people are going in on Kendall Jenner for not knowing how to cut a cucumber.
Oh, because Kendall Jenner apparently doesn't know how to cut a cucumber.
So what happened now?
So
what is this? Oh, this is
she-
obviously it's from the show, right?
It's from the show, and
Okay.
they're in the kitchen. It's her and her mom, Chris, right?
Yeah.
And Kendall Jenner is standing there, and she has a knife in her left hand.
Sure.
And she goes to cut the cucumber, and she's holding the cucumber like you normally would with her right hand across the whole cucumber.
Right.
And she's having trouble at first. No, sorry. In her right hand is the knife,
Okay.
and her left hand is the cucumber.
Okay.
But she's holding it so like this. Crosses her arm underneath her left hand. She crosses her right arm underneath her left hand.
Wait a
to
second.
cut the
Help
cucumber.
me out here. Okay. Don't do left to right with me, okay? So she has a cucumber and a knife.
Yes.
And she crisscrosses her arms.
Correct.
Okay.
And she's having trouble. And then she asks whether or not cucumbers have seeds.
So wait, she crisscrosses to cut?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Listen
okay.
to this.
Okay.
Do you want the chef to make you a snack?
Yes.
I'm making it myself.
Oh.
Just gotta chop up some cucumber. It's pretty easy. You go, girl. Be careful, because I nipped myself the other day.
I don't know, I'm kind of scared.
There you go.
Don't cucumbers have seeds? Oh, yeah, there we go. I definitely am not a good cutter, so don't zoom in on me. I'm not professional whatsoever.
Hey, chef, do you want to cut this up for her?
I'll do it, Mom.
So she crisscrosses her arms in order to cut the cucumber.
What was she like cutting it like big chunks, or little chunks, or what was she doing?
She looked like she was, her technique, because it's a
Yeah.
very short clip, it looked like she was trying to do them like paper thin as opposed to big slices.
Right. God, is there ever a time, do you think, that you would get to the point in your life where somebody goes, "Do you just want the chef to do that for you?" And you go, "No, I got it." You know what I mean? Like, how long do you have to have a personal chef in your house before you get to the point of where you're like, "No, I
But if
got
you
it."
already have like a personal chef, wouldn't that personal chef already just like do the stuff for you anyway?
Well, that's what I mean, right? Yes. Like, you have to be so bored of having a personal chef that you
And
decide
so
to cut your
bored-
own cucumber.
And so bored. Well, not just that, but so bored with your rich, extravagant life.
Yeah, like just no, it's too difficult to get the chef in here and do all this stuff. I'll just do it myself. Like, I don't know. Like, and maybe you would get bored having a chef. Maybe you would. I don't know. I don't know at what point you would sort of want to start to do things yourself if you had a chef at home.
Like when you're holding the cucumber, right? Like for me, I'm left-handed, so I cut everything with my left.
Which is weird. Stop talking lefts and rights. It's too confusing for people.
So
Nobody understands
if I-
lefties.
Shut up. So For me, I would hold the cucumber like in the middle, close to the end, and then start slicing left to right.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Okay, honestly, you got to
and
stop
start
saying left and
right to
right.
left.
Nobody knows what you're talking about. Nobody understands a lefty.
Yo!
When you, it's
All my
irrelevant.
left-handed
It's
people know.
irrelevant. No, but when you start talking about cutting a cucumber and you're doing left hand, right hand, it's irrelevant to the discussion. It's completely irrelevant to the discussion. It makes no difference other than confusing your story.
No, because you're confused because you're right-handed.
No, I'm
So
not.
it
I'm not
messes you up.
confused at all.
Yeah, it
no,
messes
it's
you
not.
up.
It's because you're left-handed. You don't understand how the world works. So you have to do this thing constantly where you talk it through because nothing makes sense to your left-handed brain.
No, nothing makes sense to your delusional.
If you just said
confused
all
brain.
you have to do is say a knife in one hand, cucumber in the other hand, everybody gets it. But you're like, so it's a left and then and the right. No, sorry, it's a right and then a left and then you cross it, and so the right is the left. Nobody needs to know that stuff. It's your left-handed way of explaining things. Okay. It's your no. Like I said,
don't know, guys. I
like
just
I
hear
said,
big. All
like
I hear
I
is
said-
just hate.
like
right
I
now.
said, nobody.
I'll just hear a hater for all the left-handed people in the world.
Nobody understands a lefty.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Senior Year is the new movie on Netflix out today, starring Rebel Wilson.
Oh, yeah?
Rebel Wilson plays a woman who, when she was 18, she's in high school, 2002, and she's a cheerleader. Most popular student in school, right? Dating like the hottest guy, knows everyone. Typical, right?
It's my life.
Ends up doing a routine, falls on her head, gets knocked out, put into a coma, and she wakes up 20 years later as a 38-year-old.
Okay.
As Rebel Wilson, right?
Have you seen this yet, Maury?
Oh, it's so fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm a big Rebel Wilson fan to begin
So
with.
am I.
She's very
She's
funny.
really good.
So in the movie, she wants to go back to high school to finish her senior year.
Yeah.
She never got to. She never
Yeah.
graduated. And Chris Parnell is in the movie. He plays her father, Chris Parnell, formerly of SNL.
Yeah.
Two people, Sam Richardson and Zoe Chow, who were in the Tiffany Haddish After Party TV show on Apple.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
God,
the
I
black
love that
guy and
show.
then the girl that he was interested in.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh, so good. So
Yeah,
they're in
yeah,
the
yeah.
movie
Okay.
as well. It's very, very funny.
So how long is she in the coma for?
20 years.
20
Now, keep in
years.
mind, when she wakes up after 20 years and wants to continue on with life,
Yeah.
she still thinks it's 2002, so she
Right.
dresses that way.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
So Dammit Maury had a chance to chat with the great Rebel Wilson.
Hi, Mari. How's it going? Oh, I'm so good. And I have to tell you, this movie was so amazing. My husband and I watched it and died laughing. It's so good.
Thank you. It's like a combo of like some of my favorite movies from back in the day, like Bring It On, or Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore. And it's just like, you know, I love high school genre films. So I was like, okay, we're going to do this and put lots of cheerleading in it because I love cheerleading as well.
And in the trailer, you see she gets dressed into her cheerleading outfit and like joins a squad again,
Right.
and tries to adapt to, I guess, the new way of living. 2022 kind of values.
But she's
and
like a grown
views.
woman,
But she's a
right?
But she
grown
wants to go
almost
back to school.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
God.
grown almost 40-year-old, and part of going through that experience of senior year is that she gets to go to her prom.
Okay.
Right, which she missed out on back in 2002.
Now, it was, of course, also hugely about the prom. And I got to ask you, what was your prom like? I've heard it was a bit of a disaster, but tell me about your prom.
It was a bit of a disaster. My senior prom, my date got so smashed that he ran off into the ocean, just into the ocean, not thinking he had his wallet in his pants. And so I had to rescue. I'm like, give me the wallet. Because like, how are we going to get home? Like we had to get a taxi back. And I was like, if we have no money or whatever, I'm going to be stranded on this beach. We had it at the Ritz-Carlton in Sydney. And I think a famous musician from In Excess, Michael, had just died there. So the other thing I remember is we tried to get up to the room. I don't know why, I guess, to see it. So I remember that. And then I remember my date like having to get his soggy wallet out of his pants. And it was like a bit of a nightmare. Haven't seen that guy again.
Oh, well.
Since then.
Still in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
Do you guys even remember your proms?
I didn't go to prom.
No, I didn't. We didn't have prom.
You didn't have prom?
No.
Shem?
I got nominated. Not nominated. I won Mr. Congeniality at my prom.
No, you didn't.
Really?
Hey,
Thank you.
Mr. Congeniality.
Which was essentially the default for not winning like prom king.
How have we not called you Mr. Congeniality? Because it makes so much sense.
Yeah. I didn't even know what congeniality meant at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So what else were you up for? Or does it work that way? I don't know.
Yeah, I was also for prom king, but that
You
went
were.
to like the school couple, like the it couple.
the
in
king
senior
and
year.
queen?
Yeah, that went to.
Are they still together?
No, they are not.
Were you booed up or no at the time?
No, I went by myself. I went solo.
Oh, you did. So that's
Yeah.
why you didn't win, huh?
That's all right.
That's kind of a trash thing.
I
like
was valedictorian.
You were, huh?
You know?
What's that based on? Popularity or grades?
Both, actually.
Both.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
But you still
both.
didn't get prom
Interesting.
king, and you didn't have a girlfriend.
Okay, listen. Let's think of
Yeah,
positives, guys. Positives.
Yeah,
positives.
he's a Miss Congeniality.
No, Mr.
Congeniality. Sorry.
Rebel Wilson is in a new movie called Senior Year on Netflix, and there's one scene where she is in her as the almost 40-year-old. She comes home from the hospital.
Yeah.
Her bedroom is decorated the exact same way as it was. Her parents left it the same way it was when she was 18 years old, right?
God,
and she
yeah.
ends up, I don't know, I guess maybe her parents got her like a new updated Rolling Stone magazine so she can figure out what's going on in the world of
Right,
music.
right,
And
right.
Lady Gaga is on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine.
Okay.
And in the movie, she says this.
Madonna's now called Lady Gaga.
So Devin Morey brought that up with her.
In the movie, there is an epic Madonna and Lady Gaga diss. Are you worried that Lady Gaga might see this movie and what she might think of the diss?
Well, I mean, I think they're both like legends, Madonna and Lady Gaga. And I did like see her at the BAFTAs briefly in London. And I'm like, oh God, she's going to see that joke when it comes out. And that's when it gets scary because you're like, oh God, now they're going to. I could run into them. Whereas back in the day when you're a comedian, you're like, oh, you'll never run into people like Jennifer Lopez or whatever. You can just make jokes. But then I hope she takes it in that, a lot of people did say she was similar and so I hope she takes it in a fun way. I love her though. I think she's awesome.
That is Rebel Wilson.
Love
She's in a
her.
new movie called Senior Year on Netflix now.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast. Roz and Mocha's Hell of a Story.
Jessica, welcome to Roz and Mocha's Hell of a Story.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so when and where does your Hell of a Story take place?
Okay, so it was about 5 years ago, and my husband and Ben and I moved from our condo to our now house.
Mm-hmm.
We had, we still have, a boxer named Lily who was about 1 at the time. So, like, super rambunctious dog, still really destructive.
Okay.
We are worried that she's going to totally destroy our new house. So we think, okay, we should get a camera.
Mm-hmm.
So as everyone does when they buy a new camera, they start playing tricks on one another. So every once in a while when I left the house, I would jump on it. And if I saw my husband, like, peacefully watching TV, I'd yell into it and try and scare him. So one morning, I'm getting ready for work, and Ben had already left at this point. And all of a sudden, I hear my husband call me. But there's something weird about his voice. So I'm like, okay, that's strange. So I call out, and I don't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, you know what? He's totally trying to get me back. So I text him, and I'm like, haha, very funny. He writes back, he's like, what are you talking about? So I text again, and I'm like, you're trying to scare me through the camera. Very funny. And he's like, I'm driving to work. Like, I'm not checking the camera. I am not talking to you through the camera. So at this point, I start kind of freaking out. And I'm like, I clearly heard him say my name.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, I'm not like, it's not like I heard my name. It was my husband's voice. He's Welsh, so it was in his accent, the exact way he says my name. Anyways, we went away for a few days to New York, and then when we got back, we had totally forgotten about it. One night, we're getting ready for bed. All of a sudden, we hear, Jess. We both just stop what we're doing. I hit him, and I ask him if he heard what I just heard. And all of a sudden, he just lets out a nervous laugh. So I'm like, you heard that, right? He's like, yeah, I did, but I thought I heard wrong. And I was like, no, that is exactly what I heard a week ago.
So at this point, have you guys unplugged and thrown out the security camera?
Totally. Like, so after I heard it the first time, I thought it was very strange. I even told my mom, and she said, unplug that camera right away. So we did.
So that night that you and your husband heard your name coming through the indoor security camera, at that point, the camera was unplugged and turned off.
Yeah, and we actually had put it away in a cupboard because we thought it was creepy.
So was your name, you heard your name being called through the camera. Was it coming from the cupboard where the camera was, or was it still coming from the spot where the camera had always stayed in wherever in your living room?
So that's the weird thing. So no matter where we were in the house, it always sounded like the voice was coming from somewhere else, but not where the camera was. So when we were in our bedroom, it sounded like it was coming from the hallway. When we were in the living room when we heard it, it sounded like it was coming from the basement. It happened over the next few weeks. So we thought we have to do something. So we thought to talk to Ben's parents because they're religious. They kind of believe in this stuff.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. No, wait a minute. No,
Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second. I just, hold on. I need 1 second.
What?
I rolled my eyes so far back in my head. I just hurt myself.
Okay.
Oh, come on, man.
I swear to goodness. When you hear the end of the story, you're going to die.
Okay.
So
Am I though?
we say, okay, we need to Skype you. We need to talk about something. So we're halfway telling them this story, and their faces, like their eyes, just start bulging. And they say, okay, we need to tell you guys something. So apparently when they were younger, they went through a similar experience. They both shot up in bed one night, and they both said to one another, like, I feel something strange, like some sort of evil presence.
Catherine's done the same thing in bed with me now a couple nights. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Hey-o. Okay, go ahead.
So anyways, they said to us, it might not be a bad idea to go and see your priest. Because I had mentioned I thought about going to see our priest, but I thought it was a bit crazy. I was like, priest is going to think I'm nuts.
Did you pay him for this?
So you don't technically pay your priest, but you do give them like a gift or an offering.
How much?
What was your donation to the church?
So we gave him $100 and then we bought him some gifts.
Okay.
But this was like after.
Sure.
So we basically sat there and he started getting, so he actually said to me, he's like, I'll give you some prayers and some holy water to take home with you in the meantime. So I said, okay. So he's getting all of this ready for us. We're sitting in his office and he's cutting out these prayers he's photocopied, and he starts asking more questions to kind of, I guess, rule possibilities out. But I reminded him that at this point we had already turned the camera off, put it away. He stops what he's doing, doesn't even look up at me, and says, okay, Jessica, what time is Ben going to be home tonight? Because I think it's probably important that I come over immediately.
Based on the fact that you walked into his office and said, I think I heard somebody say my name?
Well, no, I explained the whole, we think it's a spirit situation.
Okay. Yeah. You know, all the right things. You said all the right things.
No, Ross, I swear to goodness, why would I make this up?
I don't know. Okay, go ahead. So the priest is like, okay, stat, I need to get over there tonight because y'all are being haunted, right?
So he comes over that night. He walks us through the house. He takes us through every room, as if in a movie, right? So he's sprinkling holy water in every room. He takes Ben and I's hands, and he says a prayer in each room on every floor of the house. So I kid you not, guys. I know you don't believe me, but from that day on, the voice stopped immediately. We never heard it again.
Hey, does the priest count the money while he's there in front of you, or does he wait till he gets in the car?
Come on, man.
He doesn't know there's money. It's just
he doesn't know there's money. Did you at least get to keep the holy water?
Okay, so we did. So we actually kept it.
Plastic or glass bottle?
Plastic bottle.
Oh, for God's sakes. Listen, I believe you 100%.
Okay.
No, you don't.
No, I do. This one I believe. I believe you 100%.
Sure. How's your eyes after that big eye roll?
I have such a headache right now, Jessica. You have no idea. My head is pounding right now.
Yo,
could you, for $100, could your priest do something about that? I think my head is haunted.
Jessica, thank you so much for joining us on Roz and Mocha's Hell of a Story.
No problem. Thanks a lot for having me.
We love you,
girl.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Well, here we are.
There we are. Hey, Mocha.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Of course, brother.
Let's do the news.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
News break.
Yes. Last night at Variety's 2022 Power of Women ceremony, Kim Cattrall had a red carpet reunion. You're going to love this, Damon Mooring.
Yeah.
So Kim Cattrall was on the red carpet with Darren Star, who created Sex and the City.
That's right.
Patricia Field,
who
was the
stylist.
head stylist for Sex and the City, and Candace Bushnell, who originally wrote
Sex and the City.
So it was the four of them.
Kim Cattrall has no beef with any of them.
Not with those people.
No,
Okay.
no, and not only that, but if you remember when they were doing And Just Like That, Patricia Field, they asked her to be a part of it because the outfits in Sex and the City were so iconic, and she said no. She took Kim Cattrall's side in the
Two of them
fight.
are friends.
And exactly, they showed up together last night at this thing, and then they asked Darren Star if he would ever work with Kim Cattrall again, and he said that he would actually love to have Kim Cattrall on Emily in Paris, and that if she was up for it, he would write her into the show.
And that's the rumor that she's supposed to be in Emily in Paris because don't forget, like she moved to London in that show, which is where Samantha lives.
Well, no, she wouldn't be Samantha in Emily in Paris.
I'm just saying what the rumors were.
Also, there's a difference between London and Paris, Maury.
Like a big difference. Like
She's
miles,
going to be in
bro.
Emily in Paris because she moved to London and that's where she lives.
No, in Emily in Paris, okay.
Yeah, I got you. Anyway, inside the 2022 Power of Women ceremony, Kim Cattrall hit the stage and said this.
As a now proclaimed woman of power, I want to share with you something that has been a tremendous help to me over the years in navigating my personal life and managing a career in all manners of situations. It's simple, but at the same time, it's very complicated. It's a word, and the word is no.
Oh, damn.
No, that's not for me. No, I've been there. I've done that. No, I won't be bullied. No, that salary is unacceptable. No, we are not having a meeting in your hotel room. And one of my favorites in particular, no, I don't want to be in a situation for a moment that is not enjoyable.
Yes.
That was actually really good. Really good.
Bro. Also on stage last night, Queen Latifah was there. She did a great speech. Drew Barrymore was there. But I want to touch on Camila Cabello, who took the stage and talked about the last 2 years and how therapy really helped her through everything.
In my late teens and early 20s, actually, the T is during Cinderella, too. That's also why I was shaking in my boots. I struggled with anxiety that at points felt crippling. My mental health was at an all-time low. I don't know how I would have made it through if it weren't for my mom. She helped find me the therapist and the treatment that changed my life. Through all of that, it was difficult for me to socialize and just be a human, let alone be Cinderella in a movie. I didn't have space for anything else because my own struggle to just be okay was consuming it all. I needed all the tools I could get, and because of the resources available to me, I was able to not just survive, but now thrive. Throughout my treatment, I discovered I suddenly had space for creativity again, for intimate friendships, for new hobbies, for activism, and those things made me feel more connected, grounded, and more myself than ever. I realized I can't pour from an empty cup. I can't be present for my career or my family or my community if I don't find the space to heal myself. It was a difficult lesson to learn because as women, we're often expected to be everything for everyone all the time.
Wow, bravo.
I've never heard that
right?
saying before, but it was amazing. You cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, no, she did really great too, and her speech is super cute. Like because everybody else, like you can tell that age is such a thing on that stage. Where the other women that came out, but Camila Cabello was like, "Hi, Mom, that's my therapist," like pointing into the crowd.
Aww.
Like she's very much Camila Cabello on that stage. And,
Love it.
She was dynamite.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Mike Birbiglia is filling in for Jimmy Kimmel, who is out with COVID. And last night, Kevin Hart was on that show talking about what went down when Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage. And here's Kevin Hart's feelings about it.
The Chappelle thing was so scary this
week,
right?
Not scary, but all right.
No?
Somebody ran on stage and got their ass whooped.
not scary.
I know.
It's one of those things that need to happen, though, right? Like, by the
No.
way, yes.
No.
What do you mean, no?
What do you mean, yes?
Okay, Mike, do you want people to continue to think that they can cross that line and break the barrier of entertainer and...
Oh, no, we're on the same side of this.
Yeah, that's my point.
There is a momentary confusion.
Well, I don't know how you can get confused there, Mike. Somebody getting their ass whipped sends a message out to other people that was like, I was thinking about doing that, but after seeing that, I don't really want to do that.
We're saying the same thing.
Kevin Hart's spitting straight facts, though.
Straight facts. And here Kevin continues on the sort of greater meaning of all of this.
Look, I think that the world that we're in right now, there's a lot of lines that have gotten blurred. And sometimes you got to take a couple steps backwards to take some steps forward. And I think that moment that we just witnessed with Dave is like fogging up a bigger moment. Like Dave just made history at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Dave sold over 70,000.
Unbelievable,
tickets, right?
yeah.
And Dave went back after that and finished doing the show.
Yeah.
And didn't let that thing be a big thing.
Yeah.
He quickly moved on from it and got back to doing comedy. And that's what a professional does.
Yeah.
And ultimately, these moments of improfessionalism should not break professionals. They shouldn't shape or mold the world that we're now being seen or viewed in. So I think it's time to get back to a place of respect for your live entertainer and understand what you're coming to the show.
Man, I agree with all of that.
And 23-year-old Isaiah Lee, he is the guy that did jump on stage. City Attorney Mike Fuhrer laid out the charges, all misdemeanor charges, which is interesting. Really? No felony charges, which means that he'll probably be out in no time with maybe a fine.
And still a broken arm.
What should have been an evening of laughter at the Hollywood Bowl this past Tuesday night was suddenly interrupted when suspect Isaiah Lee allegedly charged onto the stage and tackled comedian Dave Chappelle. The suspect allegedly was carrying a weapon. This alleged attack has got to have consequences, and this afternoon, my office has filed charges alleging battery, possession of a weapon with the intent to assault, and charges relating to interfering with a performance. My office takes protecting public safety extremely seriously, and we are going to vigorously prosecute this case.
I like how he kept saying allegedly. Like, you know how
I
many
know, you
videos
have
are out
to,
there
though.
of the
I know.
attack?
So the reason it's not a felony is, he had that switchblade gun, which was a fake gun with a switchblade blade that came out of the end of it.
Yeah.
Right? This thing is a weird looking thing. But the reason it's not a felony is because when he tackled Dave Chappelle on stage, that was in his bag, not out. He wasn't holding it.
Allegedly.
So he had the weapon with him.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but he didn't try to use it at all.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, do you know who Patti LuPone is, Mocha?
No.
Patti LuPone, massive Broadway legend, okay?
I don't know anybody on Broadway.
Okay, no, hold on. She's been in Evita, Sunset Boulevard, Les Mis, all of those things. Sweeney Todd, anything goes. But also TV credits. She's in Pose. She was in Mom. She's been a voice on The Simpsons, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Penny Dreadful, American Horror Story, Coven, 30 Rock. She was on Frasier. She was on Glee.
Now that I Googled,
yes,
I know who she is.
Okay.
Okay,
Big star.
thank you.
Big star.
Yes.
So she's on Broadway right now doing a performance of a show called Company. And I guess at the end of the show, there's a Q&A that happens. And during the Q&A, she spots somebody in the audience who's not wearing their mask properly. And listen to this.
Put your mask over your nose. That's why you're in the theater. That is the rule. If you don't want to follow the rule, get the out. Oh my God. Who do you think you are if you do not respect the people that are sitting around you? Pay your salary.
Damn.
You pay your salary. Chris Harper pays my salary. Who do you think you are? A waitress. Just put your mask over your nose.
Damn.
Jeez.
Patti LuPone going Patti
Schmo
LuPone.
in there. You guys are both applauding this, huh? This madness?
Oh, the godmother of Broadway has spoken.
Oh, wow.
Now, here's the thing with Patti. She's known to do this. Like, she once was doing a production and saw somebody filming and went off on them.
Really?
So
Yeah,
this
she's like
is her
Axl
thing.
Rose back in the day. And Maury applauding. Maury's never once worn a COVID mask properly.
No.
Never.
But I will in front of Patti.
Yes, exactly.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Toronto City Council is set to vote. What have I been saying for years about drinking in parks, people?
Oh,
this
just
has
like-
been my thing for the 13 years we've been doing this show.
Just allow it, right?
Yeah. So City Council is set to vote on a proposal by Councillor Josh Matlow. What a saint. Which would allow drinking in parks starting May 21st and lasting until the end of October. So it's just no winter drinking in parks.
What? Well, how are you
Okay.
going to stay warm outside
I don't know.
when you're kicking it at a park?
The motion would also only allow for drinks with a 15% alcohol or less.
15% is a lot.
So no tequila. No. Okay.
How am I going to do shots at High Park?
Yeah, you're not allowed. Not allowed. Just like beer, a wine, that kind of thing.
How can they regulate the menu?
I don't know. It's your menu. You bring it. It's from home.
No less than how much?
15%.
So I can still bring like a 12 and chug that.
Yeah, you could, because individually, those individual drinks are still less than 15% alcohol. You just can't bring like a bottle of Jack Daniels and sit on a bench and you and your buddy just sipping on Jack all day. It's not going to be allowed, and don't even think about doing that after Halloween either.
No Christmas
Right?
drinking.
Like we can't just do things, right? And I say this, when no matter who's in charge of this province, but especially during Kathleen, when you really felt like that the politicians, they weren't working for you. They wanted to mother you. They wanted to parent you. Like you really got that sense that we know better, right? And even with something like this, nobody has backyards anymore. Nobody can afford to buy a house. People don't have balconies. People need to socialize and they want to have a drink in the park, right? Who cares? No big deal. But, and then we always get the but. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not that I want to like do shots or anything like that, because I don't do shots. But there's already laws against being drunken in a public place and being disorderly and being all this stuff. All those laws already exist.
I know.
So yeah.
So no bottle service at High Park.
No, there's no VIP.
I can't get like a bottle of Bellevue.
No, hey, I reserved that tree.
Me plus 5, I'm on the list.
That's my tree. Remember when they made people sit in stupid circles at the whole beginning of this?
The remnants are still there.
Are they really?
Yeah.
You had to reserve a stupid circle?
Yeah.
God, we're idiots.
Yeah.
I saw a video today from the
bottle
beginning of
service right there.
COVID where there was like a group of 20-something women in a parking lot, and their cars were all sort of formed in a circle where the front of the cars were all facing each other, and the cars were all like 20 feet apart, and they were all standing on top of their cars dancing together. Right? You know what I mean? When people did that at the beginning of COVID?
Sure, yeah,
When you all
yeah.
met in a parking lot and you parked your cars like 25 feet away from each other.
Listen, trying to
and
be
then-
safe, socially distanced.
Stop it. It all looks so foolish now. But anyway, so hopefully this goes through.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Leafs win last night. Go up 3-2 on the series of Tampa Bay Lightning. Austin Matthews scores. John Tavares scores. Morgan Riley scores. Jason Spezza was the real star of the game. He went behind the net after they were down 2-0 and said something to Jack Campbell, and then he said something apparently in the dressing room to the guys after the first period and really got him going. But this montage from Joe Bowen, like almost, I'm going to say like he was close to the end of life when he was calling this game. He was so excited. So here's Joe Bowen, the great Joe Bowen, calling all the goals, and then at the end you'll hear his confusion when Tampa Bay goalie Vasilevsky suddenly reappeared in the net after going to the bench.
Giordano to Nylander. A shot scores! Tavares looking to try and find a man open. Twists and turns. Centers in front. They score! Oh, Morgan Riley ties the game. Nylander closing, shooting, scores! Holy mackerel! The Leafs have taken the lead. Marner closes, shot, scores! A shot at the empty net. Where did Vasilevsky come from? Why is he back on the ice? Long shooting on Campbell, his glove. That's it. The game is over.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody who goes harder calling a game than that guy.
Do you think he goes home and he's just like the calmest guy ever? Like, hey, Joe, how was the game? Hey, it was good, honey, thanks. Like, he's just like completely different?
No, I don't know. I think that I think it takes a lot out of you. I think he probably sleeps all the way home. I would have to have somebody drive me home if I did all that. I do not work that hard, just so you know, and I will never work that hard. Okay, don't expect anything like that from me.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Go Leafs, go, huh?
Go Leafs, go,
bro.
Dog, tonight.
Was it the first time if they win tonight? First series that they've won in like 18 years or
Since
something
like
ridiculous
2004, 2006.
My God. Crazy. So stressful. I don't know how I'm going to do it. You know, I went to bed early before the other game finished the other night.
Oh, really?
I did.
When-
Yeah. Before they came back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because you thought, like...
So first of all, the way, like...
What a game the other night, by the way.
But like nobody has overtaken a lead in the series.
I know.
So the team that leads is the team that wins. It's just been that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so stressed out, right? And I just couldn't deal. So I was like, hell with it. I'm just going to bed. And
then you wake up
and then I
and
wake
it's a
up the
win.
next morning and then they won. Yeah, it was great.
Damn.
So it's a big one tonight.
Tonight's going to be crazy. Cannot wait.
Maybe
Maple
that's the
Leafs
good
Square is
luck
gonna be
thing. Maybe
nuts.
we need Roz to go to bed early. Maybe that's like the good luck charm.
No, you know what this team needs, honestly? And fans have known it for a long time. And their former coach, Mike Babcock, didn't know it. And then Sheldon Keefe, this new guy, he doesn't seem to know it. This team needs Jason Spezza. And he's the guy that talked to Jack Campbell, the goalie, after that first period. He's the guy that stood up and said some words in the room that everybody said was what got them to come out on fire in that second period. Like, he's the guy. He may not put it like he's not a points guy, but you put Jason Spezza on a team because he's that guy.
Do you think we'll ever
he's
learn
so
what
important.
he said?
Yeah, word for word, no, but they've all sort of, talked about, basically what he said. But keep in mind, like, if you've seen interviews with, pro hockey players, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I just imagine that it's that, but only with more F-bombs.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't imagine, like, he's not going in there doing a Any Given Sunday Al Pacino speech.
Right.
Right?
Listen, guys, we're going to get out there.
It's a game of inches. You got to fight for that inch. You got to know the man to your right will fight and die for that inch. He's not doing that. He's like...
he's not quoting.
No!
It's like, the other night when they were... I loved it, right? Because I'm a big fan of Scarface. But when they did that, the intro, using the Scarface music and everything,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I was so hyped. But then I was like looking at the roster. And like all these guys on the team, none of them were born in and around the time the Scarface was out.
They know.
They're like, cool intro. Can we play now?
Bro, like if one of them, if like these guys weren't on the Leafs, right? But they just like they were like a friend of yours or whatever, and you would have nothing in common with them. You would have nothing. You were like, you would look at your wife Jenna and go, I have nothing to say to a 24-year-old. Right? Like I have. But anyway, so go Leafs go. Y'all are studs. We love you.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
That game 6 last night. Oh my God.
Come on.
Okay, so
Come on.
Leafs go down in OT. They came back. One terrible giveaway, one terrible penalty, a couple other terrible moments, and 4-3 overtime. Tampa Bay Lightning.
But that's okay. We got Game 7 tomorrow night at home.
Bro, I saw something this morning, okay, where it was like this stat of all the times the Leafs since 2013 have been in a position to clinch and failed.
Oh, come on. Don't talk.
And it's 10 times now. It was 3 against. It was 3 in the last series against Montreal, and then Columbus, and then I think 2 Boston, and then back in 2013 it was Boston again.
All right, ease up, Wikipedia.
Right?
Come on, this new year, new me. Come on, let's
Is
have
that
hope.
what that is? Okay. Anyway, Game 7. Here's Austin Matthews, by the way.
Obviously, the 5-on-3 that we give up. It's tough giving up. Power plays to a team like this, but obviously a 5-on-3, they're pretty lethal and they obviously capitalize. So it could have gone either way. We had our chances, I thought. We did a lot of good things, but obviously we couldn't get the job done. But we're going back on home ice with another opportunity to close out a series, do or die. So I think the guys are excited about that, and I think we should be. What's in the past is in the past, man. I mean, we can't change anything now. It's about this next game and going out there with a purpose and details and just competing for 60 minutes or whatever it takes. And, we just got to put our balls on the line and go for it.
All right, there you go. Balls on the ice.
No, he didn't say put our balls on the ice. He said put our balls on the line.
Oh!
He didn't say we got to put our balls on ice.
We just got to put our balls on the line and go for it.
Oh, gotcha. Sticks on the ice. That's what it is.
Yes. I thought it was more that as soon as he heard balls, just everything else after that was just an absolute blow.
We just got to put our balls on the line and go for it.
You got to go for it, man.
Yeah, go for it. Balls on the ice, guys. Go.
No,
Let's
it's
go.
not balls on the ice. Jesus Christ.
We just got to put our balls on the line and go for it.
Thank you.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Toronto will not be joining other world-class cities in allowing its citizens to have an alcoholic beverage in a public park. The motion was shot down yesterday by a vote of 17-2.
Oh, come on. 17?
Here is Toronto City Councillor Josh Matlow, who actually tabled this motion.
There are people in our city who have backyards who can have family members and friends over for a drink and have a barbecue. But there are so many Torontonians who don't. And they don't want to be treated like scofflaws every time they get together with a friend at the park and have a beer on a hot summer day or have a glass of wine with a picnic or whatever.
Yeah, agreed.
Here is your Toronto mayor, John Tory.
I've seen people carrying stacks, not just one case of 2-4 into a park, stacks of 2-4s and kegs of beer and cases of wine into the parks. I do not and cannot and will not support the notion that it's ever going to be okay to carry kegs of beer and cases of wine into the parks.
It sounds like Mayor John Tory has not been invited to a lot of parties.
Okay, this is when politicians start thinking that they're parents. Okay, they're not parents. This is why people everywhere that allows people to drink in parks are always the cities that if people go to on vacation, they're like, oh my God, those people know how to live. And I'm not saying that drinking in parks is like the sort of key to life and everything else.
No.
But there is a freedom there. Like when you go to Paris, when you go to London, if you go to Sydney, even like Calgary and BC, they're doing all this stuff, right?
Bro, you go to
allowing
friggin'
it.
Vegas on the street, you can walk around everywhere with a drink in your hand.
And they love it. Now, as far as John Tory with the cases of 2-4s of 2-4s. But there's already laws that prohibit like alcohol-related public nuisance. Like those laws already exist. So you only have to enforce those laws, right? Like it's not like those laws will no longer exist. We already have laws. But I just will say the thing that drives me the most crazy, right, is that you think that you live in a world-class city. Like you think living in Toronto is like this world-class city, okay? We're not allowed to. They just voted it down 17-2 to drink in parks.
That is astonishing.
You want to know two places where you are allowed to drink in parks? Cuba and China. Okay? There should be no freedom laws that they have in Cuba and China that we don't have here.
Right.
Okay? Straight facts. You can buy beer in a vending machine in China. Right? They're cool with it. Do you know how many things that China's not cool with? Right? Human rights for one.
Yeah, almost
right?
everything.
Almost everything. Okay? Spying, human rights. You want to drink in a park? Cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay? Right? Like
enjoy.
We shouldn't be prohibited things.
And I don't think
here.
it's fair for Mayor Tory to say, I've seen people with kegs and cases on cases on cases.
That in that moment, he was not the mayor, he was the parent. He was the Toronto dad. Okay, we don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need you to be a parent, man.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I have too much faith in people, but I think people would rather enjoy and respect drinking in parks.
But who cares if they don't? If they don't,
Right.
that's fine. There's already laws. You arrest them. It's like a $5,000 fine. There's already laws. Anyway, so that's not going to happen. Upset about that.
Thanks, Dad.
Sorry. Are you talking to me right now?
No, you
okay.
Oh, the mayor.
I know, the mayor.
And also, and the other 16 that voted, or the other 17 that voted.
17-2. Jesus.
You know what
man.
they need?
What's that?
To feel better?
Yeah.
Drink in the park.
Yes, they do.
It'll brighten up their mood.
Yes, they will.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Christopher Walken is the latest actor to join the cast of Dune for the sequel for that. Florence Pugh also signed up for the sequel, and also Austin Butler, who's Elvis in that new Elvis movie.
I'm very excited to be working on Dune 2.
That's a terrible Elvis
No, that's
that was
Christopher Walken.
That's your Christopher Walken?
Yeah.
Do it again?
No.
I'm so excited to be working on Dune number 2.
Okay.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Howie Mandel's wife made him quarantine twice as long as the recommended CDC timeline. Listen to Howie.
AGT won the Kids' Choice Awards. They made me go to the Kids' Choice Awards. Yes. And a lot of people get slimed. I went viral. You literally, yeah. And you know what was weird, though? My wife, who takes lovely care of me, I love her, I've been married for 42 years, said, you got to quarantine for 10 days. Yeah. So for 10 days, locked in a room, nobody, did nothing by myself. And then I got out, and I read the CDC said 5 days. My wife... Not funny. You know what I realized? We've been married for 42 years, and I spent most of my life on the road traveling. Up until COVID, I was doing like 200 live dates a year. Yeah. So the thrill was not having me there. So the fact that I was there, she imposed a quarantine. Every day I would get up, and I was going crazy, but she locked me in the room, and I could open the door, and there was a little cookie. I played hide and go seek. Alone.
That's exciting. Did you ever find yourself?
Not once.
Not once.
And it's because I used the same hiding place twice.
Hey, Christopher Walken, how long did your wife make you quarantine for?
42 years.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, did you see this story about that Virgin Atlantic flight that was going from London to JFK and had to turn back because the pilot wasn't qualified to fly?
Sorry, what?
So that was the headline, but it's super weird. So
how do you get on the plane then?
So there's the pilot and then there's like the co-pilot, right?
Okay.
And just like a driver's license, you have to get certain amount of time, like you have to write tests, you got to like fly planes, and you have to fly with qualified instructors. It's like when you take driver's ed, right?
Okay.
You got to have like that qualified instructor in the car with you. So this plane took off, and this co-pilot hadn't finished the one last step, which is he had to do a flight with somebody who was qualified. So he's like, okay, cool. Obviously, this guy who's been flying for Virgin like 17 years, who's with me right now, like he's my guy.
Yeah.
So the plane takes off, and then they realize that the guy who the 17 years experience flying for Virgin isn't actually qualified to be sitting in that chair to teach the younger guy. So everybody in the plane could fly.
But he's been flying for 17 years.
But you need certification in order to be that guy.
I don't know. 17 years seems pretty certified to me.
Yes, I know. So anyway, they had to turn the flight was in the air. They were like 45 minutes into this flight.
So what?
Right?
We can't. All of a sudden, we can't fly this plane.
No, but it was like a logistical problem where you're like, okay, but we have two pilots. Yes, you have two pilots. Both of them can fly this plane. Both of them can fly this plane. But like they miss one test? Yeah. No, one guy missed one test. But the other guy's good to go. The other guy's good to go. Well, why can't he fly the plane? Because that other guy's sitting there. That's why.
But it took them 45 minutes into the flight to realize that? What, were they chit-chatting during the flight?
That's what I wonder, right?
Like,
you didn't talk about it before?
Autopilot don't work? Is it like GPS? You just set and forget?
I hope not.
not necessarily like that.
Is that what you want?
No, not like that.
Is that what you hope happens when you get into a plane?
Okay, GPS, right? You set and you just follow the directions, right? My man's that's got 17 years. He should at least be able to follow the directions.
Man, you know me. Like if I'm on a plane and I'm sitting in first class, right? And that door opens and one of the flight attendants brings a meal up front to the guy. I'm like, no. You eat when you land. You eat. I eat now.
Like, hold on.
Hold
on. Let me make
you eat when you land.
Just give me a minute. I got to make a left at Texas real quick.
Yes, exactly.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
James Earl Jones. There's an old interview that surfaced of James Earl Jones talking about how much he was paid to do the voice of Darth Vader in that first Star Wars. So we'll play the clip, and then I want to hear from you, Mocha, whether you find this shocking or not.
I'm simply special effects. George has recently admitted that when he hired David Prowse, he thought that was his Darth Vader. This guy who's over 6 foot, 6.5 feet tall, and fits in that uniform, that costume, with a slight Scottish accent, and not a bass, but more like a tenor. And it's a very effective voice, but George thought he wanted a, pardon the expression, darker voice. Oh. So he hires a guy born in Mississippi, raised in Michigan, who stutters and that's the voice, and that's me. I lucked out, from all these so-called handicaps. I lucked out to get a job that paid me $7,000, and I thought that was good money, and I got to be a voice on a movie. It was great fun to be a part of that.
Hold on a second. James Earl Jones only got paid $7,000 to play Darth Vader in that first movie?
Yeah.
But like,
you shocked at that?
Yeah, the greatest villain of all time.
But when he was hired,
but
nobody
Mocha,
knew
he
that.
wasn't though. There was no Star Wars. This was a movie that nobody knew what it was going. It was a space western.
Right.
It was a space western that a director who had only directed like one movie before this did,
But, like-
that nobody got, nobody understood, and it was voiceover work.
But did George Lucas then like flip him some extra G's afterwards?
Well, we don't know what
Like, come on.
James Earl Jones' contracts were, throughout the history of Star Wars. James Earl Jones has done very well from Star Wars, but yeah, that first movie, that seems right to me. 1977, making $7,000 for voiceover work on a movie that's about space cowboys that nobody knew what the hell it was,
and it was a gamble.
That's
at
good
that time.
money.
I know. I just think of it as like these times now, and like what Star Wars is to the world.
I mean,
right?
to put it in comparison, I guess 5 years ago, I got $100 to be in Chicago.
5 years ago,
You were an extra in a movie about Chicago, right?
Yes.
Didn't Chicago come out in like
that's
the mid
not the same
2000s?
thing.
Yes.
Why not compare it to some of your voice work that you've done, Maury?
Oh, okay. So compared to when I voiced something from Monaris and I got $800.
See, that's right.
That's good money,
One-time
though.
deal, right?
That's a
That's good money.
30-second commercial.
You got paid $800 to read 30 seconds of words, Maury, and you're complaining?
No,
$800.
I'm putting it into comparison.
Yo,
But
Monaris,
that's not a comparison.
Listen, Monaris, if you're listening, I do voice work as well. I will not complain.
Yes. Yeah, and you know what? I can also do a real good damn it, Maury, and I'll do it for $400.
Oh no! It's the Maury nervous. It's the Maury nervous laugh now.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Pete Davidson, so more audio, more clips coming out of this Netflix is a Joke festival. And up to this point, there was a lot of transcripts and sort of what the jokes were. And we heard that Pete Davidson had riffed on the fact that Kanye told him that he had AIDS for some reason. And that also there was this one moment that we were reading about where Pete Davidson made a Mrs. Doubtfire joke saying that it would be great if Kanye showed up all dressed up like Mrs. Doubtfire. So here is the actual audio from Pete Davidson at Netflix is a Joke. Listen to this.
I had an AIDS scare this year. You're like, Pete, wow, what's going on in your life? Are you sharing needles? You doing heroin? Are you having tons of unprotected sex? No, Kanye told me I had AIDS. And he's a genius. So I was like, I better call my doctor. So I went to the doctor. I actually got checked because I was like, maybe he's right. I don't know. So my doctor told me I don't have AIDS. I just look like I have it. So it's a completely different thing. You know what's really funny about that? AIDS is just such an old school thing. They're like, you have AIDS. It's just such a 90s, early 2000s thing to like. John Mulaney called me and he's like, AIDS! You should spread a rumor that he has polio. Does anybody else secretly hope that, like, Kanye pulls, like, a Mrs. Doubtfire? I come home one day and they're like, this is the new housekeeper. And he's like, what's up, Bam?
Oh, my God. That's the whole thing with that, is that you forget that Pete Davidson does stand up, because right now Pete Davidson, when he's on SNL, he barely does anything, and when he does, he just laughs his way through skits. And then when he's on when they do Weekend Update, he's just sort of doing Pete Davidson stuff.
He wasn't even on this past weekend's SNL.
No, he's got too much other stuff going on, and but you forget that he does stand up, and then you're like, oh yeah, Pete Davidson's actually good at stand up. Like, he's pretty funny, right?
He's great.
It's like when I'm trying to think of who it was. It always happens with actors. It's like you forget that certain actors are actually really good just because they're so famous, and then every now and then they show up in a movie and you're like, oh my God, yeah, you're really good.
Like Tom Hanks.
Brad Pitt for me.
Brad Pitt, yes.
I forget that Brad Pitt is so famous
yes.
that you forget that he's phenomenal. Movie 7?
Yeah, yeah. Or
Fight
even
Club?
when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, I was like, oh yeah, Brad Pitt's a really good actor, right?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Oh, Justin Timberlake's advice on this is Justin Timberlake via Jessica Biel. So the advice on how to keep a marriage going, and this is, I guess, what Justin Timberlake had said to Jessica at the very start of their relationship.
I'll have to give Justin the credit in this moment for this one thing that he always says to me is, we might be married, but we have to keep dating. And it's so true, you know? You just have to keep making time for each other, and you have to keep making each other a priority and do the things that you love together. It's not always easy, as we all know, but those touch point moments, I think, kind of make all the hard times, palatable.
So Isn't that what Justin was doing on the balcony? Isn't that what Justin Timberlake was doing on that balcony in New Orleans with that woman a couple years ago?
Man,
is that what he was doing?
Go there, bro.
Still dating? Continue dating? What were you saying, Maureen?
Always act like it's the first time you're seeing each other.
That's sweet.
Yeah, but I mean, at a certain point, like if you're going to always act like it's the first time you're seeing each other, like at some point you're going to be faking that, though, right?
Well, the whole always act like you're dating is faking it.
No, not always act like you're dating. Like I think that what they're saying is that you still have to date. Like you still have to plan exciting things. You can't just become roommates. Like you have to make sure that you're active in a sort of romantic plan, regardless of how many kids you have and how long you've been together.
I mean, I've lasted 16 years based on arguments.
Right, yeah, you guys just fight. You guys don't date, though. You and Matthew don't date at all. Like
No.
You don't do date nights or anything like that.
I mean, we sit in front of the TV.
No, because this is what they're trying to avoid. Like you're doing the opposite of still dating.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Canadian tennis star Denis Shapovalov is calling for the sport to take a tougher stance against hecklers in the crowd after he got into an argument with the line ref because he stepped over the line to show him where the ball had landed, but you're not allowed to do that. And then the Italian crowd just started going in on him, and then he winds up telling this one guy to shut the F up. Listen to this.
Dennis, listen, because you crossed the net, you're going to get another code violation. That's a point penalty, because you can't cross the net.
Wait, come on, I was just showing you.
No, I know, but you have to stay on this side.
I was just showing you the mark.
I know what you were doing. I know, but unfortunately, I can call this.
I was just showing you the mark.
No, I know, Dennis. I know exactly what you were doing.
I'm not doing anything that's sportsmanlike. How can I was showing him the mark on the ball because he couldn't see it? This is so stupid. Shut the
And he did apologize. He did apologize later on for that. So he's calling for them to enforce these rules because I guess in tennis, every sport is so different. Like in golf, like they need absolute silence in order to hit a ball that's not moving with a club, right?
Yeah.
That's just the sort of way the sport is. And then you get baseball where they can have 100,000 people screaming at you, and you have to hit a ball coming at you 100 miles an hour with like something that's the same width as that, right? Like different athletes need different things. And I guess because tennis is very precious.
Yes.
Tennis is a very precious game. And so I guess they want people like that.
My favorite line in that
really
was,
told that guy.
My favorite line was, I didn't do anything unsportsmanlike.
I know. Well, because he got called out for crossing the net, right? Because he walked on the other side where he's not allowed to. And the guy's like, you're not allowed to do that.
But
That's
I didn't do anything unsportsmanlike.
I know, bro. It was so good. But he really went in on that guy. Jeez.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Leslie Odom Jr., star of Hamilton, was in town for the David Foster Foundation Gala. Dan McMorey talking to Leslie Odom Jr. because if you remember the Tony Awards, when are the Tony Awards, Maury?
June 13th.
June 13th. And so they had, I guess after the Will Smith slap, the Tony Awards had to come out with a press release saying that they are now have a no violence policy at the Tony Awards. And everybody was like, the Tony Awards? But here's Damn It Maury with Leslie Odom Jr.
Okay, Leslie Odom Jr., I got to ask you this. As a Tony Award winner for Hamilton, new rule at the Tony Awards, a no violence rule. Do you really think the Tony Awards needs a no violence rule? Like, is Nathan Lane jumping the stage to beat up Patti LuPone?
Well, I mean, I think we're in, there was some uncharted territory for the award circuit. And so, I don't know, I guess it was maybe in response to some people feeling uncomfortable or wanting to feel a little safer. And so,
Big snubs this year at the Tonys.
What are they?
Big snubs.
Will I know any of them?
Yeah, no, you would. So no nominations for Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick for Plaza Suite. No nomination.
I didn't know. Here's the thing: that when it comes to snubs, I know when it comes to snubs at the Tony Awards, right? Like, first of all, you have to have knowledge that Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick actually did something on Broadway.
Oh, I did. No nomination for Deborah Messing for Birthday Candles. No nomination.
What's that about? What's Birthday Candles?
No nomination for Daniel Craig for Macbeth, and no nominations at all for the musical Diana.
Broadway is such a weird place. Like, do you remember, like, Cats was on Broadway for like 40 years or something like that, right? And it made perfect sense. Like, it made perfect sense. It's an absolute jewel of Broadway, Cats. And then they do a translation of Cats and put it in a movie, and everybody realizes how dumb Cats is.
Oh, but wait till you hear what's expected to be the big winner.
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
the Lehman Trilogy, a play about the rise and fall of the financial firm, the Lehman Brothers.
Starring who? Lehman Brothers. Oh, yeah, who's in that? Anybody famous
No,
in
nobody
that one,
famous, but like, who's clamoring to see the Lehman Trilogy?
Wow, geez. I mean, listen, the what's that? The Wall Street scandal was big, Maury. Why not put that
to music?
For God's sake, bro. It's so you can put a musical. You can make a musical out of anything.
You really could.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So Madonna has jumped into the NFT world.
Oh God!
She's selling 3D animated versions of herself, completely nude, spread eagle on a sterile white lab table while things emerge from her.
The video is weird.
So, like, trees grow out of her, and then, like, centipedes come out of her, and then butterflies come out of her. And then, so she's saying that these sort of, she's like an avatar, right? But they're saying that the avatar was based actually on renderings of Madonna's full 360 form, including everything. And there's, like...
Hold on, she had to sit there?
Yes. So I guess
while the computer did its thing?
Yeah, she lied down and then the computer did its thing.
Scanned.
And then it scanned and then it scanned everything. And apparently it's very accurate. Except for the butterflies emerging and tree branches and growing.
No thanks.
And, yeah.
Yo, y'all taking this NFT stuff a little too far.
And money raised, Madonna says, from her NFTs will go to 3 charities that are, quote, focused on supporting women and children around the world.
Oh, lovely. Just use your own money.
What is that, more?
That's the tree growing out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a better shot than that. I saw a much better shot than that today.
No, thanks.
That's
I
like
can't even see that. Your phone is so greasy.
Yeah.
The screen, I can't tell.
They go on sale today.
And how much are they?
There's no price
There's no
listed
price,
yet.
yeah. NFTs are a weird world. It's sort
Hey,
of
if
what
it's
everybody's
digital,
willing
why
to
does it
pay.
matter if the table's sterile?
Well, because you know what I mean? It looks sterile.
Okay,
She's in a lab.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know, man.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Well, Alfonso Ribeiro. So Alfonso Ribeiro, of course, Carlton from The Fresh Prince. We love Carlton from The Fresh Prince. He was doing an interview with Jimmy Kimmel talking about how tired he is of having people ask him to do the Carlton dance.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do the dance or any of that stuff. Yeah.
Thank God, thank God.
You must want to kill people when they ask you to do that, right?
And, I won't say kill, but I don't have a love for it like they do. I typically get asked to do the dance pretty much every day of my life if I go outside.
For real?
Yeah, if I go anywhere, it's like, I just randomly hear people, do the dance!
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not dancing for you.
Yeah.
I'm a black guy, I'm just not dancing for you.
It's not gonna happen.
You know what's funny is that we got Carlton to do the dance, though. I was at like a celebrity golf tournament years ago, and Carlton was there, and we were all just like out on the course drinking and stuff like this, and he did the dance.
Like by himself? Like he was
Yeah.
like independently, or like
Yeah.
you guys were like, just do the dance?
No,
bro.
everybody was like, come on. But he was into it. Like, he
Sure.
didn't make us feel like he was pressured at all. But he did. And everybody lost their minds, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was so great. Maureen.
If he wants people to stop asking him to do the dance, then stop doing campaigns around the dance. Last year, he did a whole commercial where you had to submit you doing the dance.
Oh, so he doesn't want to do the dance for free.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he's doing a commercial, he's making
But
some bucks
he
off of
keeps
that.
doing the dance. So if you don't want people to ask you to do the dance, then stop doing the dance.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
you
but
gotta
not
get
for free.
paid, bro.
Yeah, that's the deal. Last Cham, you got to get paid.
If you're gonna ask me to dance, you really throw some dollars my way, make it rain on me. You know?
How much does what do you charge per dance, Sham? Like if you're Carlton?
Depends on the dance.
Oh, excuse me.
Sham, here's my credit card.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
21 Pilots revealed that they were in early talks to do a song for Top Gun. Now, if you remember last week, Gaga released, what's the name of the song? Hold My Hand?
Hold My
Is it?
Hand.
The Gaga. Hold My Hand. So Gaga released the song, and then Tom Cruise had done a lot of talking about it, saying that this is the thing that actually, it's the thread that ties all the emotion of the movie together, and that this one track changed everything. So here's a little bit of Gaga's song from Top Gun Maverick.
Hold my hand, everything will be okay.
And we all had mixed feelings about this.
Still don't like it.
Not so much as a movie song, but even just like as a Gaga song, right?
It's pretty.
It's beautiful. I mean, the thing is, Gaga can sing, right? So when you're a singer, you can pull that stuff off. I should know, you know. But as a movie song, it's whatever.
So this is the direction that they wound up going in, but because the production of Top Gun has now been going on for so long, earlier on in all of this, the guys from 21 Pilots were asked to do the song for Top Gun, and it didn't work out. And here's why they said things really went to hell.
You know, funny thing, I was working with I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, whatever. I was working with the music placement person for the new Top Gun on writing a new song for them. And then I believe Tom Cruise came in and just fired everyone. And
What?
so- yeah.
Why? Did he give a reason?
I mean, you've seen that new Top Gun thing has got like, the trailer's been out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So there's been a few overhauls, and I was a part of that. So they've moved on. So
Wait,
screw
did you
Cruise.
actually start writing something?
Okay, you're gonna have to push me on it.
brought it up.
I did. I saw some scenes. They brought me in to show me some scenes and stuff. And I actually don't think I started writing. It was actually pretty soon after they brought me in to show me, parts of the movie and what they were looking for and stuff. That then I got word that everything there was like a wholesale like swap.
Anybody interested in what the 21 Pilots song for Top Gun would have sounded like?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's their big song? What's 21 Pilots' big song?
Stressed Out.
How's that go?
Stressed out. If I
Yeah,
can find it for
yeah,
you.
you know the song, Roz.
If we can
Do
turn back
It's I am stressed out. As Shem sang it.
If we can turn back time, if we can
Play it. You guys are the worst.
I can't find it, whatever.
Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm done.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So Britney Spears fans have been pleading with Britney to stop uploading nude shots of herself on Instagram. So within the span of like 5 hours the other day, Brit uploaded a string of like really similar images over 3 separate posts. Now, in the first, she captioned this photo dump of the last time I was in Mexico before there was a baby inside me. Why the heck do I look 10 years younger on vacation? We all do. And then that same photo was posted 6 times in total, with the only difference being like the shading and the closeness of the shot, like she was working on crops and whatnot. One Britney fan wrote, "We don't need to see this, and we don't need to see it 5 times in a different filter." While somebody else wrote, "Please have a little respect for yourself and your children." So do I have to remind people, leave Britney alone?
Yeah.
Right? Like, are we at this place now? I can't, but like, here's the thing with the whole Free Britney thing, right? Is that everybody wanted Brit to get out from underneath the conservatorship, okay? It is not then up to you to dislike or judge how she spends her freedom.
She also
how
looks
she uses her
beautiful.
freedom. I think that people were expecting like a brand new album right away, and I'm going on tour and I'm doing all this stuff. No, this is what she wants to do. When we were all years ago on Instagram abusing and overusing filters, right, and posting the same shot 3 or 4 times because we didn't really know how to do. When we were all doing all that, Britney was in jail.
Yeah.
Right? So now she's getting to do all this. It's like introducing like Instagram and everything to somebody for the very first time, and she's just having fun with it. She's having fun with
Well,
it.
she hasn't gotten to the Valencia filter yet, so I'm waiting for
Right.
that one.
Yes, this is what I'm saying though, right? You can't say free Britney and then get mad at Britney for being free. Like it makes no sense to me, and I can't believe it's all these years later we have to say leave Britney alone. It's ridiculous.
Also, I'm a true believer that if you don't like something, then unfollow them. It's their Instagram. Do what you want.
Fair enough. Hey, you know what I do love about Britney? I mean, I love a lot about Britney, but you know what I love about Britney? I love that she shows her work. You know what I mean? I'm going to post this unfiltered. Then I'm going to post another one with like a little bit of a filter on it. Then I'm going to post another one with like a little bit of a crop. Like we get the workflow to the final product,
I
which
love
nobody does on social media.
No, you only
nobody
get the
does that on
perfection.
social. Yes,
Yeah.
you only get the. Thank you so much.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
It's looking like Tom Brady has signed a deal with Fox Sports. So when he decides to walk away from the game, he's going to be an NFL analyst for Fox Sports. Now, Tom Brady, throughout the course of his football playing career, made $333 million. Tom Brady's deal with Fox Sports is apparently worth $375 million for 10 years. So Tom Brady will make more talking about football than he did playing football.
In one
Can you
contract.
believe that? In one contract. It's a 10-year deal, $375 million. Because ESPN has been snapping up Monday Night Football stars. So they got Troy Aikman, they got Joe Buck, then they got Peyton and Eli doing their Manning cast online during the game. So Fox is really in a position to throw a lot of money at one star, and that star is Tom Brady. $375 million over 10 years is what he's going to make.
He could have bought that Warhol the other night and still had money left
Tom
over.
Brady's not buying it. He could have done it before the Fox deal.
$195 million.
He could have done it before the Fox deal, man.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
OVO is back. This is Drake. I don't know where he was, but this is Drake talking about OVO coming back.
I love you with all my heart. They let the city back open, so I will see you at OVO Fest soon. I love y'all. Let's go.
There is a artist out of the UK named Santun Dave.
Yeah.
Who was performing. So Drake popped up on stage.
And so OVO normally happens when?
It's usually the August long weekend.
Gotcha.
So he's saying
And
that
so is he
OVO
saying
Fest
that
is back.
OVO's happening this year?
Yeah.
Really, huh?
Mhm.
Anything announced yet? Or I guess not.
No.
Any rumors, any tours that are crossing over? Anybody got open dates that you may know
No.
could be hitting the stage at all? Nothing, huh?
No, you'll likely find out probably June, maybe July.
Yeah, cool.
Stuff will start to leak.
And he also Drake has famously on purpose left out names, surprise guests because he wants them to be a surprise.
Right. But in other years, you've sort of been able to piece it together because
for
there have been existing tours that are then just going to become OVO Fest, right?
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
on Kiss 92.5
Kiss925.com.
or download the Kiss 92.5 app.